placing their predictions, but only one team will be earning their spot.
What were the casters' predictions?
3-2 Yahweh, Steph Tricks, and Zeke.
All.
When they were faced off,
They hop ship.
That's what I said.
They hop ship.
No, they never voted, bro. Even back when it was BTK, they still wasn't voting for y'all, bro. And I was like, what?
They hop ship.
Yeah, swear to God. I literally told them the same thing, bro. I was like, they ain't ever voted for y'all to win. I was like, them two specifically,
together.
bro. You know how many games I don't watch.
Plays from the side of Cloud9 that just kind of worked in their favor. BTK, there was times when they were
what's going on,
but they just were not able to close it out, and a little bittersweet for them. But this is their chance for redemption.
Yeah, and look right now at the bans already. A lot of target bans on the board from both sides. Both sides respecting the enemy jungler. There's that Suyo ban. So obviously C9 thinks that Mobizane's going to be able to pull it off well. We were wondering how it was going to play out. Alpha ban, Fanny and Ling, and the Valentina for Mark Cutie on the side of BTK. But they give up the chip for that, and we don't get to see the chip a whole lot. Normally it's on the ban table, but maybe BTK feels like, I think we can handle this. I think we have an answer for this. But it is definitely, probably across the board globally in all leagues, is the most banned hero out there right now. So it should definitely speak volumes.
Yeah, it can definitely be a problem. Zane quick to pick up that Julian, though. Can't limit all his junglers. Now, I do like what Cloud9 did there, but there's still some answers from BTK to be able to still make this work in their favor. So far, the draft is looking good for both sides. Jushin has been locked in for Cloud9 as well. It's going to have a lot of pressure in the mid game, or mid lane. It's going to have a lot of early pressure to not allow the side of BTK to invade. We are looking at the Ruby picked up by Basic. Should be slotted in the gold position. We'll have to see how Zia kind of responds to that. We've been seeing Zia showcase so many marksmans this NACT fall season. We've seen the Wan, we've seen the carry. Even with this carry in yesterday's performances, it worked out really well. So today, hopefully we can get that same level of competition. The Gatot has been interesting as well. It's been a very high prioritized hero. We get to see it flex in the XP lane and also flex inside of the roam position as well. And right now, BTK can do either or. Right now, we're looking at two teams with high level drafting. There goes that carry that we mentioned over there from Zia as well. A possible answer for Basic on the Ruby.
Yeah, good answer for Basic. Maybe a little bit dangerous because just how close it is, but also a good answer for Chip. I do really like that Ruby pick slotted up. I think it'll be a good answer to the Julian. You can catch him if Mobizane's a little bit too slow at any point. You're going to get stuck in place for a second. Same thing with the Gatot. It wants to jump in. It wants to try to get these taunts, but the Ruby is going to be able to lock it up. Here goes some more jungle bans, though, from BTK. The Hayabusa off the field. And I'm wondering if C9 may pay the price here for not slotting in best player early. Slowly running out of options. I got a feeling the Nolan could definitely get banned out next, and that just doesn't leave a whole lot for C9 here, right? There goes the E ban, though, from C9. I wonder, do they just also keep hammering in, maybe take out the Louis here? Something along those lines, maybe the Vex. Something to kind of focus down onto Hoon.
Yeah, they can pull out the Bane, though. Still another jungler sneaking out there. I wonder if BTK can sniff this one out and ban it, or are they going to allow Cloud9 to be able to pick that up? Yeah, they are definitely limiting the hero pool over there from best player. We are going to see that Khalid ban, though. It's been such a threat inside of the XP lane. We've seen a couple of answers to it, though. We've seen, it's kind of surprising. I would feel like Chicken would be able to respond appropriately up against the Khalid. We've seen the CC be a possible counter up against it, but looks like, hey, they don't even want to give them the opportunity. There goes a Faramis ban. To finalize the bans for both sides. Cloud9 will take that out for the sustainability portion, taking that away from BTK. Now, the question is, how are we going to respond? What are we going to put inside of the XP lane for the side of BTK, right? Chicken, without having the Khalid, there's still a couple of options on the table. We've seen the R-Lot is definitely super valuable, as the Edith has not been banned out, so the Edith is definitely up for the taking as well, to be a possible option. There's just a lot on the board. That's why I love the meta so far with this NACT fall season. Just when you think it's going to go one way, it goes
Let's go. You know what it be.
I think they go mage here, give White Chicken the counterplay on the Nats. So they lock in the Vex. And now White Chicken at least has some space. With the Khalid gone, like you said, there's the R-Lot, the Edith, still a few picks. Still flex this Ruby into the EXP lane if they want. Plenty of options, still a lot of flexibility, but it gives Chicken some pivot room here as the last pick. I think it's a smart move. C9, on the other hand, it could still slot in a gold laner, still need a jungler, or they need an EXP lane.
That's why I didn't want to disrupt the rituals. I was like, nah, I'm not going to go out there.
The Nolan for best player here. I think that could end up really being the answer. But again, we'll see C9 not scared to, never scared really to like break any boundaries at all or try something different. It's still game one. They could definitely surprise us here, I feel like.
I would say maybe the Nolan and the R lot could be a pickup. They're going to go ahead and do the Nolan. Oh, so this is going to be that Ruby Flex.
Yeah.
It's going to be Ruby Flex, which is three-dimensional drafting. That's what we kind of say. You got to expect the unexpected.
In here
when you have a hero that can
I was running them outside, though.
It just showcases the value when it comes to this level of drafting. There goes that Nolan, though. I mean, best player. A checkmate from BTK. It's kind of like they were waiting for this pickup, right? They forced best player's hand on that Nolan, so I'm expecting them to have an answer. We know BTK is a team that thrives when MLBB is able to farm inside of the jungle, and so far with the draft that we're seeing, I don't expect them to be too aggressive. And I guess you do have the Nolan, so he can definitely get to the side lanes and get some burst potential, but it's not as good as a Ling. It's not as good as a Hayabusa, at least not as mobile as both. So that could be something that works for Zane when he's trying to get these objectives. And what better way to do it than to have a Tigreal by your side to be able to force a team out and get some possible setups.
Okay, so the big flex also comes from BTK here, though. They bring the guitar into the HP lane for Fried Chicken, lock in the Tigreal for Shark, which at first I was like, but honestly, I think with the type of gameplay that BTK likes to bring, having two strong frontliners, two tanky boys to hold down their formation is exactly what BTK wants. It gives Zia a nice box to play in. They also get the Eternal Guardian stiff arm effect from Hoon. And MLBB and Zia can kind of just move around safely to be able to attack the way they want. A big worry from Cloud9 here is big, like,
his shoulders there.
Yeah, he's half there. He said, let me move over a
I
bit.
just feel like there's a lot of wham bam pressure from that right now. You know, Cold World pops up, and in comes the NACT, in comes the best player, in comes the Zaman Force from Basic, and you can immediately get locked up. You can immediately get burst damage down. There is definitely some surprise effect from the side of C9 here.
And speaking of surprises, ladies and gentlemen, we are now jumping in to the upper bracket finals. Cloud9 and the Bloodthirsty Kings ready to fight it out in a best of 5.
What do we think? Game, late game, break it down for us.
All right, so we are looking at Basic
running on this Herald
going up against Zia on the carry. Time and time again, we see the Herald actually picked up as a counter.
Apparently, Shark ain't pulling up until later.
Slotted, so Zia is going to have to play a little bit safer.
Third in the week or something.
Zia's not as mobile neither, but we know that's a comfort pick that he thrives on. Definitely one of the keys to victory is going to be focusing on getting that ADC to those core items as soon as possible.
They really
for BTK, it's going to start with Zane being able to get his objectives.
Doesn't use mana anymore.
And also these turtles. We know when BTK gets these turtles, they're able to scale a lot better.
Trinity?
And if they can deny
the whole team's at my house.
They may be able to go for that early finish like we seen in yesterday's matches when they were going up against
Make sure all the Cloud9 graphics are looking good.
With Cloud9, especially because Shark is running on this TIG.
Yeah, BTK bootcamp too.
The invasion plays from Cloud9 if they do want to try and go and delay
boot camp versus boot camp.
Rotation.
That's not even a boot camp, bro. They went there just because they wanted better internet. Because they thought it was a big problem.
Last time Cloud9, I think, really beat them in the macro game, really beat them in map control. Something else to point out is Zia does go for the flicker here, right, instead of the purify, which I think early game might be a little more helpful. When we creep into, mid to late game, it could be scary. I think Flicker might be the more aggressive skill here. Be able to chase a bit more.
This is my brother Joseph, and then on this side, Rose.
If that Ruby locks on at any point,
he pulled up for
it's gonna be scary. It could be checkmate
for the grand,
so he's really got to play. He's
I think he'll pull out next weekend too, or you just stay.
Using that Flicker.
They are gonna have to watch out for this chip. You kind of mentioned
we're gonna have a house full.
Nice, I'm offended. Does lock on the Lantern Flare, pulls Shark in. He might not be able to get away from this. Force use second skill just to get away, actually. NACT still holding the front side. MLBB trying to find a way to this turtle, but Cloud9 not rushing it at all. They're going to back away. Best player still not there. As we do see NACT start to kind of, keep vision on it, but BTK also taking their time as well.
Yeah, now best player is going to rotate to it, try and make the advantage with the separation. Zane not in distance for a retribution play. Does he go for it?
Eternal Guardian does come down. Turtle goes to the side of Cloud9. And everybody just disengages.
Ooh, no!
Oh, wait a second, to the boss side. Zia with the first blood. Up against Basic, 1v1.
I thought that shield was going to be enough, but Carry's got true damage now,
Even though they were not able to... Oh, Shark!
Dark got the flicker out.
Dark has to use the flicker to get away. All right, we're 3 minutes in, Weezy. Already kill a couple almost kills after that.
I don't know.
Yeah, good trade though on that turtle with the 1v1 matchup. Zia able to take down Basic. The hair is supposed to technically be the counter, but it's not
Shark
like that's
didn't pull up to the BTK
today.
boot camp.
Zia's very comfortable, already picking up that crossbow to work in his favor. You need to be careful, right? It's the ticking time bomb when you have a carry who's scaling, especially this early. Not able to get that turtle, though, is going to hurt BTK just a little bit, and it's a good objective from the side of Cloud9. But look at Mobazane, look at Shark.
They want to continue to put that pressure in
the gold lane. They want to build upon that. If they can delay Basic,
what the fuck? Why are they doing an instant replay when they're about to go in on Basic?
Toward that mid game.
The implosion does land on to Basic, and he's taken out again. That's 0 and 2. Nats tries to come in, gets a nice offended. Mobazane taken out. It's chaos on the side of BTK. Shark just trying to get away, but Nats finds the kill. Another big offended onto Fried Chicken. Pulled back in. Fried Chicken just trying to walk away. Fried Chicken looking for anything, but he does not make it.
Oh, they might actually get Zia too.
Oh, nice shot onto Marcuti. Finds it, but best player responds back. It's a couple 1-2 shots from both teams, but
you can restream. I mean, probably.
Right, so
I wouldn't see why not.
A 2-for-1 trade right there. Still going to work for Cloud9. Able to take down Zia.
Normally, you just got to be a KOL to do it.
But Basic, he has 2 deaths already, so he needs to be careful. 4-3 on the scoreboard. Currently looking at almost a 2K gold lead in favor for the side of Cloud9. We got to see them also be able to take that first turtle. Here goes that play, though.
Good hold.
It looked like BTK was in control.
This is why Chip is universal ban.
Cloud9 rotate down. Look at Cold World.
Wait,
quickly getting there.
Dude, the stun on the Mobazane, and then Knots came in and just locked him, bro.
In position,
and then they got the pull by Yushin.
Right there in that engagement.
Yeah, I mean, and then the teleport, right? The shortcut that brings everyone in. BTK would have been able to get away safely, but that shortcut from the chip, like I said, is going to be a wild card, and BTK has to watch out for it. Here comes another shortcut, a lot of damage onto Zia, brought down to about 10%. Zia tries to flicker away, unable to make it. Basic gets the kill, and now another offended comes in from Nats, locked on, brings down Fried Chicken. BTK lose 2 members.
What the fuck?
2 members falling for BTK. Need to be careful. Now a 6-3 lead. 2 turtles as well on the side of Cloud9. They are climbing in this economy. Now up by 2,000 gold. Highest kills in the game is going to be over to best player.
There's like a 5-minute delay on the game. How would I give them advice?
Forced to help clear with Shark. Not off to a good start.
You'll see. Like
out of the ballpark, though,
when they win, they're gonna storm the room.
Regroup and re-engage.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to take.
We're not in a VC, unfortunately, Kronos. We're all in person.
What they're up against now. Best player finds Zia, and Zia had such a good start to this game, able to get the kill on a Basic solo, but now Cloud9 has switched bases and they're locking on.
People were saying, like, so the Cloud9 community manager like messaged me. It was like, they think I'm you.
From Mobazane, but he's not gonna be able to get away. The Lantern player stops him right before he gets a kill, and best player finds it.
All right, so first
apparently the global chat on the actual official thought C9 was me talking on their social media, and then they said that he was stream sniping. I'm like, there's a delay on this.
Able to get these turtles or finding a trade-off and finding a possible turret, but right now they have yet to do so. Zia 2-3-1 on this carry. We've seen him shine a little bit.
It's a huge
earlier,
delay.
But now it's kind of looking like it's delayed. I'd love to kind of see.
I tell you,
just the difference.
Because it could be the same thing. BTK could have this on their TV screen. You know what I mean?
Game timer, but right
like
now
the delay is massive.
Tell they're in control, at least for the early phase.
And I mean, look at best player. I mean, like you said, that 4-0-3 is going to be a problem. The amount of damage he's outputting, even on the Shark or Fried Chicken right now, he's taking out the tanky boys down to about 50% with ease right now.
Why'd he go so deep?
BTK, I think, really just looking for time at this point. A little bit of damage on a Cold War. Shortcut comes out once again, and all 5 members of Cloud9 are jumping onto BTK. Fried Chicken pulled back in. Nats does go down. Who unable to get the kill, but they pay Fried Chicken for that one. And now the members of BTK all low. Mobazane Shark down to about 10%. Mobazane just wants a purple. He's not gonna go for it. To use
this is about restream your stream. Let's
give over that purple buff to C9, who takes a lot of damage from the fracture. BTK still forced at bay. Mark Cutie just zoning them so well with the Lantern Flare.
The chip just working really well for Cloud9. That teleport catching the Bloodthirsty Kings off guard. It was an even trade, though, when it came to who fell, right? Fried Chicken and NAS, both of them falling right there. NAS off to a little bit better of a start against Fried Chicken, though. 2-1-3 compared to 0-3-0 on that Gatot. As we are now seeing the items on the board, though, gold laners not too far apart from each other. You've seen the Starlight Requiem picked up by Basic, but matched by the Corrosion.
Yeah, but look at the chip and the tag, boy, like 2,900 gold to almost 4,000.
Impact from Zia.
Yeah,
you said this feels like the NACT finals?
Said, BTK forced to kind of step back, and I think Cloud9, especially having the chip, they can consistently keep him on opposite sides. Stay close to the portals if he needs to. They can play their wide map game that they like to play. I do think with Cloud9 having this big lead that they have, they are running a little bit more of a tight formation. They have Nats who can set up these moves. And whenever they do split up, they just all come back together with the shortcut. So BTK has to find a way around this if they want to keep up in this match.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, with 2 turrets lost, it's going to be very hard for them
someone
to
named
invade
MOBA
the
Snake
of Cloud9, especially using that tier 3 in the mid lane. That's one of the high value targets.
Are you now BA of Cloud9?
On the bot side though with Shark, but they were not able to
I do not.
It down, so now they're gonna have to regroup
well,
again.
I put that bot in the chat
with comfortability onto the side of BTK's jungle.
That's the Botismo bot. I was just able to rename it.
Waiting for this lord to also spawn in, but a lot of pressure in terms of these.
I'm just trying to support Cloud9 as much as possible, man. They support us. I got to give all the love to them.
BTK not being able to take
like
a single tower.
Such an amazing organization.
Go for the split push at this point. Do they even, do they just stay grouped up and, cut off the arm to save the body for a little bit? I don't even know if they can contest for a lord right now. They do have shred potential, having Zia. They have some nice siege protection, having Shark as well with the implosion, along with Fried Chicken and the AOG. But still, it's definitely, they're in for the long haul, I think, if they want to try to win this game.
Yeah, definitely going to have to play very passive now, wait for Cloud9 to make a mistake and make the most out of the situation. But I will give BTK the benefit of the doubt. Their team, when their back's against the wall, that's when they shine the most. I think Zane has proven that time and time again, at least in the NACT. So we'll have to see as we trickle past
I am not
now into the mid game.
The owner of the social media account,
but we are looking at the ADCs. Not too many kills for Basic, not too many kills for Zia, and both of them were still pretty even when it came to the itemization, despite the massive lead that we were starting to see in terms of objective for Cloud9. They do have a Lord marching through the mid lanes, should open up the opportunity for some tier 2 plays.
Yeah, I'm gonna pucker up every time I see Coldworld go for an attack, because I'm waiting to see 5 members of Cloud9 just jump through a portal at any moment. Lord does get brought down to about half health. I think Cloud9 coming into these fights, what they really need to do is just be careful about how much they group up. As long as they watch out for these bottlenecks coming into the base, as long as they watch out, for the response attacks of the AOG, the Implosion, and the Eternal Guardian, they watch out for that big combo that BTK could use to turn around a game, then Cloud9 will be okay. It's just all about how they approach these sieges.
That was a good,
Speaking of sieges, down goes all
right
tier 2 turrets, left with their inhibitors for the Bloodthirsty Kings. Zia picking up that DHS. Anti-Caress picked up by Shark. Radiant Armor picked up by Chicken. 9-4 on the scoreboard. Look at best player, though. 10K gold. Yeah. Well ahead of everybody on the Bloodthirsty Kings. I mean, he's already got a BOD.
Jay said, watch the boys come in at any moment.
That's right. And they're ready to deal some damage.
Ooh. Hello?
All right, here comes a shortcut. Eternal Guardian does come down. Nice implosion. AOG also locks on. But takes a lot of damage. Shark goes down. Best player able to get the kill.
Good out. Zia alive. There we go.
He gets it.
We get too greedy.
Basic for 3, and now Fried Chicken might get caught up by the Lantern Flare. Mark Cutie trying to get the pull back, but BTK still
Basic went down. At most, they can try to get some
inhibitor. Even after combo down, unable
they
to
lost
damage.
3-1.
Now, they don't have as much push potential, especially with Basic falling right there, but it's still overall a trade for Cloud9 since Zia fell in that engagement as well. Zia is going to be who the
last night, Jack, Carlos said he was ready, bro. He said it's like Christmas Day.
The more he'll be able to shred down the members of Cloud9. But I don't think Cloud9 is looking to give him that opportunity. They're looking to try and possibly close this out with another Lord play on the way in the next 15 seconds.
They kept all the inhibitors,
right now, you're looking at an excellent game from best player on this Nolan, yet to find a single death. Coldworld keeping BTK on their toes. with these teleports. Just when you think you have the numbers in the advantage, here comes Cold World, here comes a teleport, and a full team of Cloud9 to engage.
And this just feels like such a mental game. MLBB
wants
to come in. Nice implosion does land on a best player. Big knock up Eternal Guardian, AOG, and everything goes down perfectly. Best player down, Cold World down. Zia with the speedy light wheel, but Nats and Basic find 2 more. It's a 2 for 2 right now. A lot of damage. Trying to get the last couple hits. MLBB secures the double. And now BTK finally up in a team fight. White Chicken's got to get away as Marcutie brings out the Lantern Flare. MLBB doesn't want to give up this Lord just yet. White Chicken going back to the base for some more health. Nat still staying involved. MLBB brings out the enhanced knife, looking for the chains, gets pulled in by the Amafenda, the Lantern Flare. MLBB goes down. Nat gets the kill. He stayed too long, and now on the run. Forced to use
no, Mar.
Hold on, wait.
Does Mar got flick? No, he's got
Nats still there. It's still a fight for a Lord at 30%. Marcutie, Nats up against White Chicken and Shark.
They gotta get Chip in there so they can. Oh well,
man,
I guess.
A bloodbath in the Lord Pit, and we're still going.
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. Easy. Easy.
Gets the Lord though in the end. Cloud9 space out that fight long enough and come out on top.
Why Zane pressure solo?
Maybe shouldn't have win for that. Maybe he. I mean,
Zane pressured so he was like, I'm gonna take out Knots. Number 4 EXP in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
solo as a jungle,
right? He started to pull the aggro. Realized that not only Basic but also best player were down. But without that retry, he should have just left that Lord alone. He should have disengaged and
has no
for the
flicker.
Team to get in position to fight again. And yeah,
I don't think he's gonna have his flicker in time, but he might. Maybe if the fight goes out a little late.
To be able to crack open the base for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
We should be able to mop up a lot of the turrets here.
Encroaching onto the top inhibitor, it goes down. 2 left standing for the side of BTK. Best player, dancing back and forth, Shark, looking for the big
damage. Good damage.
Looking for anything, gonna get offended back in, taken out before he can even pop an ult. Basic drops him on force.
God, fucking damages. Oh my God, no way. That spell though.
Nats in the chaos, but it's still a 2-for-1.
Damn, what the? How did Cold World just get half his HP back?
I was like,
Guardian him?
And now Cloud9 maybe taking their time with this. Marcutie gonna flicker in along with Basics. Mon's force drops.
Zane should be dead.
Drops along with it. What was Zane just forced to retreat here with the fracture?
I don't think they ended though.
Kill, and Cold World comes back up with an immortality. C9 finally decides to back off.
Yeah, they smell a shark in the water, going to be spawning in soon, and they definitely don't want to test that implosion play again. But it was a good read. They saw Shark was out of position. They knew if they could burst him down before he could get that implosion, they didn't have to worry about the setups, and it allowed them to open up the base. One more inhibitor to go through for the mid lane.
Comes the shortcut. Shark with a nice implosion, though, on to 3 members. Down comes the Eternal Guardian, and members of Cloud9 are thrown into the air. Basic with a double kill, though. And they lose Basic. Zia gets it for his life, but Marcutie still dancing in the base with the Lantern Flare.
Yeah, no push potential, though, so best player Marcutie definitely going to want to push back. Here comes MLBB ready to clear these minions. Do they go in for the engagement? They're still holding it down in the mid lane with just best player in Marcutie. Possibly checkmate right now up against the Bloodthirsty Kings for game number 1. Not too much insurance behind the Bloodthirsty Kings with only that inhibitor in the mid lane standing. You already see the immortalities being picked up. Shark picks one up.
Is Zane gonna try to split push? Mar knows. Mar
over there by Zia as well for some additional shielding. He picks up the Wind of Nature on top of that. Worried about the physical damage possibly coming out and bursting him down. Right now, only 16 minutes in. And you're looking at BTK only with 1 inhibitor standing and down by 6,000 gold at the 16 minute.
Oh, this is a cooldown on his ult.
Yeah, at this point, the only way BTK is coming back is they need that big wipe, right? They need that 5-man wipe out. They need to be able to push down the mid lane, push down a lane, and go for the crystal, right? I mean, they are closing in on the 50k gold mark. Zane has about max items at this point, but still Cloud9 has enough of a lead on the other members of their team that BTK is still going to have a bit of trouble with this. They have to outclass them if they want to win this. It's not going to be done with brute force.
Yeah, definitely going to have to play a little passive and wait for an opportunity to shine. If BTK wants to have a chance to turn this around, best player getting the Lord.
And Cold World decides not to use the shortcut there. Speedy Light Wheel comes out from Zia, getting some nice damage on the Cold World, but Cloud9 again. I feel like we've been seeing them play so precise. They never really overextend. They get their objective.
It's a high kill game. 20.
They don't need to fight. They know they don't need to fight. We got the Lord, and we just wait for the push.
Yeah, right now, Shark is going to have to get the set of a lifetime to be able to turn this game back around for the Bloodthirsty Kings. That implosion is going to be massive.
If there's one person in the world that is...
Go.
You know what I mean?
You literally just said that. So let's fucking go. That's
You know what I mean?
going crazy.
Dude, Christmas morning. Christmas morning.
Hey, you know where it be?
Let's fucking go. Hey. The boys are back in town.
Crystal trying to shred down on these lanes. An Icelander Flare on the fly. Chicken Lord on the top side, though. Cold World and Nat sitting behind it. Zia shreds away at it. Lord does finally go down. BTK able to defend Cloud9. Not forcing it.
I took off his collar so he could
get health back. In comes the possible damage. Fly Chicken does go down. Shark gets the implosion on 2 members of Cloud9. Mobazane trying to stack on Zia there with the just doesn't go down. Shark in the hand of the 6-1. And now it's nothing but Zia and Hulu running against 5 members of Cloud9. Crystal may finally get locked on. One candy minion to help him move in as best player plays the distance. Cold World as well. Looking for the middle inhibitor. Another wave of minions. Going to be able to close the distance. Basic finally locks on. Drops one force, and that will be game number 1. Going into the hands of Cloud9.
I don't know if it works like that because I got to pull over here.
As best player plays the distance, Cold World as well. Looking for the middle inhibitor. Another wave of minions. Going to be able to close the distance. Basic finally locks on. Drops Mon's force, and that will be game number 1. Going into the
sorry,
hands
chat. If you guys don't want the game spoiled, I'm sorry. But the boys are always going to storm in here. It's just like a tradition we have.
3 turtles, 3 lures, and all the turrets working.
Super sorry, but
they're not playing around.
it's just how they are. It's how they are. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if they got, I'd rather them storm the room and enjoy the win. You know what I mean?
Gotta break down.
What's the point of even doing it? You know,
right there, right? You saw Chicken. He tried to bait out a lot of the utility from the side of Cloud9. He was frontlining with like a tot. He was hoping for a lot of ultimates to be used right there, so that way they could turn that back around in their favor. But a little bit of separation from BTK, a little bit of a miscalculation on their last line of defense was costly. Cloud9 was able to push through.
On the official? I'm live, yeah.
Best player.
There's 4,000.
There's 7-1.
I don't know what the peak was, but it was probably higher than that.
Best player was just a monster.
I had like 50 or 60 people watching on mine.
At 6,000 and 7,000. He was almost fully stacked out. Leads the board in terms of damage dealt right now with 77,000. Best player definitely online right now. And you know, you said at Cloud9, it really felt like they were just kind of playing the wait and bait in so many of those fights. Even that last engage, best player never crossed the inhibitor line till Shark finally came out trying to maybe make a play. He could have probably stayed in the base just fine, but once Fried Chicken came out, once Fried Chicken went out, you see best player kind of lock on. Fried Chicken gets caught off, taken out. Shark is the next to fall. Mobazane. Cloud9 just, I felt like through that whole game, we're just kind of letting BTK come into these fights themselves and then capitalizing on it.
Yeah, the micro is just a little bit more synergized, at least for game number 1, and we're going to have to see how BTK responds for game number 2. Definitely some impressive gameplay nonetheless, and something that not too many teams we see are able to execute at that caliber. The chip, it was very effective. We kind of asked the question when it got slotted in. We were wondering, hey, is it still the bread and butter that it used to be? And it definitely is. I mean, it definitely kept BTK on their toes when it came to the engagements. When BTK thought they had the numbers, that's when Cold World would just pop up and disrupt everything and turn the engagement around. This is interesting right here. The 1v1 matchup between Zia and Basic was a little concerning as well. I definitely don't want to overextend on the 1v1s. Especially being a late game marksman, you want to be able to get to those core items as soon as possible. But there it goes. Look at the counter plays. Look at the teleports. Just look how impactful it is when you have a chip on your side who knows when to engage.
Yeah, I don't think the chip will be let through again because so many of those fights were chip dependent. So many, I mean, this one again. For a moment there, BTK in the laning phase, it felt like they had it, but the chip, the wild card pick there was just too much. And then as the game went into the mid side, Mark Cutie was just detrimental to everything the C9 wanted to bring. They were just, I mean, able to check bushes, able to make it so BTK could never really advance or look for the big ambushes.
Yeah, and Chicken kind of forced to put that Katat in the XP lane, it just wasn't really effective for him. And we were wondering what
up, chat? What up?
We got to see him. He kind
BTK
of
OP. Came in with a double die.
XP lane when they were second in the draft. Yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't work out the way he was going for. We got to see some good tries, though, right? He tried to bait out some plays from Cloud9, especially toward the end of the year.
Can I ban this guy?
Make him use all their utility on him and stay alive by hitting some creeps and some minions. But it just didn't really work out in their favor. Shark on top of that, the implosion plays, yeah, he was able to grab some members, but the Bloodthirsty Kings were not able to burst them down in time, and then you would just see Shark be the one to get picked off because of it.
Yeah, and I mean, right before this was when Fried Chicken stick his necks out. You can see that he's the first to go down here. MLBB is second, and then Shark the final one to fall. And after that, I think it was just kind of a wrap. I do think Fried Chicken may have performed a little bit. Like, towards the end there, we start to see the BTK composition start to work, right? The combo potential start to work. But when you're 6,000 or 7,000 gold behind, the big 3-ult combo just isn't enough, right? It's not enough to secure enough damage. If they were at least even in gold, that could have maybe gone a very different way. If BTK's early game potential really would have set off, it could have definitely gone into their hands. But their rotations didn't really matter when the chip is on the field, man. And it was scary. And the thing about C9 there, too, is they didn't just play, you know, we saw them last week really play this more spread out comp. They were very all over the map at all times. This game they played much tighter. They played a lot more 4-1. They played a lot of just 5 on top of you. They played a very different play style than what we saw last week. And it's starting to look like C9 has even more cards up their sleeve.
Yeah, you know what was interesting too is BTK, they kind of prioritized picking up that Julian from MLBB super early. You got to see that Suyu banned out. You got to see a lot of the junglers banned out. That Zane is very comfortable. I think the Alpha was banned out on top of it. There goes the Alpha again. Banned out from Cloud9. But Zane was able to pick up that Julian first pick. Best player picked up the his hero. He picked up the Nolan last in the draft, and to be able to get the MVP on top of that, it's just very hard with that deep hero pool that he has, especially inside of the jungle. But I'm starting to kind of sniff a pattern when it comes to Cloud9's drafting. Right, they seem to try and force Zane on specific junglers. They're okay with him going on that Julian. I feel like they don't feel too pressured to go up against it. The Bane is still up for grabs, though. It is yet to be picked up from either side. We know that MLBB is very effective on it as well. So if he can't get in with the Julian, maybe he goes in with a little bit more of a push-oriented jungler, and that could be a possibility to turn this back around in their favor. Now, BTK does have first pick, unlike last game, so we'll see how they kind of jump into this. It may change the bans entirely. We're seeing a total just full jungle bans right now. This is Zane and best player targeting at its finest.
I think BTK, I think the wise move is ban out the Valentina again, high chance, and force C9 to ban out the chip, right? Or ban out something else. But either way, force C9 to probably ban out the chip here. It's something that I think they kind of have to do right now. The only problem is if BTK doesn't ban out the Valentina, then Mark Cutie still gets, you know, something very comfortable for himself. So definitely C9 has been known to, I mean, even without the trades, they just showed that Mark Cutie does amazing on the Jushin. Instead, BTK go for the Jushin ban this time. If C9 decides, all right, we're not going to ban the chip here, then either way, they get some nice comfort picks. BTK's in this situation where it's like, okay, we get do we take the chip and give them the Valentina and another power pick? They go for the chip in. So I do feel like BTK in this situation maybe won out. I got a feeling BTK does pick up the Valentina up front here, unless there's something else I'm missing.
Khalid is still available, but we know
Khalid's
that
available.
Nat's been kind of dominating against Khalid's, especially pulling out that CC. So I wonder if that's Cloud9's trying to force that hand from the Bloodthirsty Kings. But I mean, last game we got to see Chicken be a little bit more reactionary in terms of drafting, right? He wanted to pick a hero that he knew would kind of out-rotate and beat Nats, but he wasn't able to do that with the last game, just kind of probably due to the objectives of how well C9 was executing. But with them having Prio, it's an excellent question. Do they go in for the mage? Do they pick up that Valentina, provide some draft pressure? Or do they get chicken on something super early, such as the Khalid or the Katat? It's still available.
Or the Katat, yeah.
Are great options, but they're going to go in for something different entirely. It's going to be the Ruby, and I'm okay with that too, because that is a trifecta, right? That could be the roamer, that could be the XP laner, that could be the gold laner. So right now they're just playing for a little bit of insurance in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely solid, and as we've seen, I think, in so many drafts over this season, is it doesn't feel like there's just like one pick to rule them all right now, except maybe Chip. So going for the Ruby first, going for the Valentina first, going for the Guitar first, doesn't like guarantee the win. I will say that C9, they get the Valentina here, they can pick up the Guitar, and they do have 2 nice comfort power picks for themselves up front. Yeah, I think that's probably the route to take here. Most likely, and then with the Valentina, they also can still pull off. Ooh, the Grok, though. The Grok is so clean.
Okay, I wasn't going to say Grok. I was going to say Matilda was available for grabbing, and I thought that they would have pulled that out and been like, okay, we have a Valentina. We already got an I'm Offended. We have some crowd control, so we can throw some support in the mix. But the Grok is definitely interesting, especially this early. I mean, it works, I guess. You can hug the wall. You don't have to worry about the heavy crowd control composition. Here's a hero we didn't mention, though, especially having Prio first in the draft. The Phoveus slips through the bands and has been secured by the Bloodthirsty Kings. Did get a full revamp. Full physical damage now, and it's been very effective. The Julian now going to be picked up for the second time from Mobazane. Didn't work in the first game. We didn't get to really see him find a way to close into these neutral objectives, but with having Prio in the draft for this game, maybe this will make up the difference.
Okay, so with the gold lane Ruby essentially locked in, I do think Hoon needs to be on something that's going to output some damage. C9, if the Lilia doesn't get banned out, could be a nice pick for Hoon here. But here's the thing with C9, picking up that Grok, this gives them such laning phase priority. Having the Grok and the Valentina, there's nothing that BTK is going to bring that is going to out-clear that mid lane better than a Valentina and a Concussive Blast Grok. So when BTK normally, sometimes they win out in that first minute or two, they get the early game gank, they have some laning. This kind of really forfeits that over a little bit to C9. And I think we got to keep our eyes on Cold World and Mark Cutie this game, because I got a feeling in these first 3 minutes they are going to be moving around a lot and probably have river control.
Yeah, we got to see how they kind of play into this. I mean, there are still some great marksmen that could be picked up from Cloud9 to definitely deal some damage. I mean, you have pretty much everything on the table, actually. You have the carry, you have the Claude for survivability, you have the Natan. If they want to throw that back into the mix, it's definitely a viable option. The Alice... You know, we've seen the Alice even dominate inside of the gold lane, and I hope to be able to see another Alice today from either side. We are going to see this glue, though, picked up by NAS. We saw him showcase it earlier in the regular season. We're going to see how this kind of goes up against this Phoveus play from Fried Chicken. I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye inside of the XP lane. Chicken wasn't really able to get online last game. I feel like the Katat was kind of forced into his hands, and he just had to play the best he could on it. But this time he has a lot more prio with the draft, and I expect him to be a lot more comfortable. But I feel like Nasty picks up this glue for a reason. He can kind of hug and harass and not have to really go back too much, especially with the split, and he could possibly target even Mobazane when he tries to go in for these neutral objectives. And that was really what the threat was the entire game. The neutral objective plays from Cloud9 was just overshadowing BTK entirely.
Yeah, I feel like BTK has to ban out the Hayabusa here. If they don't, I just feel like at this point, it's like if you're gonna ban best player, ban best player, right? Like now they're switching over to the Noland. Last game, I think they banned the Hayabusa. I think they should have banned the Noland as well. If you're gonna try to dig into best player, there you go. Ban the Hayabusa. See what best player is gonna bring to the field now, and I think that's the right play. Stretch him to his limits. Look for that. If that's the target, they're gonna go. And it's not like this is the first time we've ever seen junglers get banned out. We've seen it happen to Mobazane back in the tank meta.
Been talking to the chat.
BTK knows
chat been talking to each other.
The big problem here. I think a lot of people know what the big problem is, and I think that is going to be your answer to
I look different
facing against C9 right now.
Yeah, so is this when the Bane comes out? And that's what I'm probably
I'm not sleeveless.
Here. Oh, the Roger. Roger, okay. But you know what? This may open up the opportunity. I'm probably not going to see Basic running.
Is that Joe's ignoring you guys?
Lane, since you do have the
I'm just super lit. Sorry, Chad. I smoked a fat blunt.
He may go in for Mage. He may go in for that Alice that we kind of talked about to deal some threat and have a little bit of that life still. Nonetheless, though, the Rogers definitely...
yesterday I was
at least in the past few days for the team, but it's been effective overall in the regular season. Able to have the like and pounce, able to be aggressive super early, as long as they kind of pick their battles and wait.
Joe's not Joeing.
like I said, that was not high. Today I'm like,
as well. They're gonna have to be a little bit more decisive and engage in the early game.
Oh man, he said I'll roll the fattest.
Let me ride by. Most likely we've seen in the jungle, it's still very possible it could get flexed over, right? There's still a lot. C9 still kind of saves this last pick for Basic just in case they want to do a cheeky swap here at the end.
But
there goes the Cho pick. There goes the Valentine, or no, the Lunox pick for Hoon in mid, which I did say I want to see more damage from Hoon. This is something that can supply it. But still, it is, you know, we see Lunox so much in the gold lane right now that I mean, I think it's a good pick.
Pop a lop in my boy.
Different comfortability of rotations for Hoon.
Dude, Manny, I seen you dressed up for the Renaissance Fair.
Right, as soon as
I was like, God,
Basic gets those weakness points.
My boy went out as like a knight.
He'll be just fine, and Basic will not be able to shut him down. So I think it's a smart play, but I'm more looking at Basic on this 1-1, right? I mean,
Joe's nickname is Cloudy Joe.
The single target CC. You have the Lunox who can kind of.
You're the cloud.
Well. I mean, honestly, let me get some shots in me, and then, like, you know what I'm saying?
He's not the most.
Now we're vibing.
The team has to go in and engage, or he's gonna get picked off. Once he joins that battle, he's not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Shark has to be careful about how he goes in as well. From the 1-1 and everything. I think the 1-1 was solid. It's definitely still in this place where it's like, is it very good? I think there's some gold laners that are pulling it off, but only time will tell as we jump into game number 2 in a best of 5 of BTK.
What the fuck?
All right, looks like we got a pause.
A pause?
Yeah, Steph Weezy.
We just wanted to say hi to you guys, man. We decided to personally. No, I'm kidding.
Got him.
It's a.
Oh boy, Weezy growing out the full beard.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
I was like, he kind of looking like a black Wolverine.
That's a compliment. It's only a compliment.
I think he's trying to match Trex's energy.
I think the most interesting thing is definitely the 1-1 picked up.
I mean, honestly, they got the same damn suit on.
Kind of mentioned.
They do. They do. Same Taylor.
Definitely playing that. That's playing suit right there. It hasn't
really been that effective. Every time I see it, this NACT, it's not the deciding factor on why a team wins, but maybe Basic is going to show something different today. But Shark,
this
is going to be something
she kind of roams around though now.
She do.
Yeah, I think Shark on the Cho is definitely a throwback, and there's been times where, you know, when he goes international, we don't see him play it as much. A lot of times he kind of sometimes can whiff on it, but I feel like he's a player that's at
so
home.
Small.
He does amazing. I've always liked Shark on the Cho, so I'm excited to see how he pulls this off. Marquinhos gonna have to be careful.
I mean, it's in the middle, but the name is
extremely safe from the Cho is probably the
but let's go.
Just because of the notification on the crowd control.
You ready to rumble?
We'll see exactly how it plays out as we actually jump into game number 2.
That's right, game number 2. Cloud9
love those JJK
ahead
skins.
of the Bloodthirsty Kings so
Any
far.
game I've played.
If we look at game number 1,
JJK,
Cloud9 be very aggressive, power chip.
I heard we might get a Naruto.
BTK and keep them uncomfortable,
yeah.
allowing Cloud9 to take the majority of these objectives.
I expect the Naruto
gifts.
Unless it's like one of them ones where you gotta do like
being aggressive, but Shark on this Cho, ready to go the distance.
Yeah, Shark on the Cho, and even though we see Cloud9 kind of clear up the waves a little bit, Cold World's forced to get away from this, which means Hoon's going to have the advantage in clearing things, and Shark not even worried about it. He's like, he knows his objective, he knows his job, and it is stay in best player's face.
Yeah, I mean, Shark is one of those roamers. He's known to kind of harass the enemy jungle, right? He's known to try and be that gnat that you can't swipe away, and it's been effective. If he can pull that off against Cloud9, it could help ease the way for the Bloodthirsty Kings to be able to take these objectives in the early game. I mean, look at him right now. He's all over the place, even inside of the mid lane.
It is what it is. I don't want to reveal all this.
Limiting the damage out provided by him.
We got a delay, man.
We'll see. I mean, who knows? They might be watching me.
Gonna help him out a bit. More damage. Something to point out though, Basic with the Aegis.
The rose on the wall.
You know, a lot of times we see Wanwan just go for the Purified, maybe for the Flicker. Don't know if it's something, you know, slightly different idea. Can help him be a little bit more aggressive. Also give a bit more shield to everybody, but a lot of damage coming in the top side.
Oh, fuck. Nice.
Ooh, Nat's very low. Need to get out of there. MOBA Zayn able to secure the first blood to take him down.
All I know is that BTK farming a little bit quicker than our team right now.
Once again, BTK, control of the laning phase. This is somewhere that they thrive consistently, even against Cloud9, and it's something without the chip, without the easy rotations to keep up, Cloud9 has to be careful for.
I'm not sure why not flicker right there, to be honest.
Pick your poison and wait. You don't want to allow Cloud9 to be overly aggressive in the early phase and take the objectives away from Bloodthirsty. We know he thrives on this rotation. To be able to get a kill this early in the game is definitely off to a great start. Look at Zia, though, on the bot side. Some good zonage up against Basic.
Honestly, I feel like when it comes to the 1v1, Zia has been getting the better of Basic a bit, and this has been kind of like the grudge match between these two. When it comes to, you know, gold medals, NACT, I think we're at a point that Basic has gotten a bit more, has gotten, you know, the higher champ sets, but Zia wants to prove that he's the best gold laner in NA, and some people will tell you two different things. You know, it depends on, you know, who you're shipping, what boat you're on right now. But currently in these two games, when it comes down to the 1v1, Zia has been getting the better.
Games. They're like kind of like organic almost. They used to be Garcia Vegas like ages ago. They changed their name.
Finding his second death of the game.
Those are fire. I smoked like honey dip, and there's like a green
gotta get picked off hard.
2 members down for Cloud9, extending the lead 3-0.
They're gonna get.
Okay, beautiful plays. They find Nats. Not only that, they get a great wave of the dragon, but more damage coming up under the tower.
Yeah, Mark Cutie and Cold World left to defend against 4 members of the Bloodthirsty Kings. Able to take down the minions, drop the Guardian's barrier.
Yo, how did Bobazane not get
able to sidestep back to safety?
I cannot smoke woods though.
Able to push into that tier 3 turret.
As Shark goes back to base, we'll give a little bit of space for
no name. I didn't understand that flicker by
Nats.
Nats.
Get locked in for MLBB.
Kind of making some weird plays right now.
He's doing exactly what we saw last time. Let's take a look at this play. Nats taken out, and watch for this Rated Dragon coming from Shark.
Cold World also tried to go in to maybe like do something,
and that is
but
pretty much it for best player. There's no
maybe to allow him to survive, but it just
it's
wasn't
not
there.
enough. You know, there was a nerf that came in on
Mars still had Purify, so I mean, I think he was fine, but
as critical as a pick as we used to. The Lycan, I mean,
it's not over just yet.
Isn't as good as he used to be. Roger just not doing as much as he used to. And in the past, even when the Roger was jungle, we would see a lot of time double fighter off lane. So I feel like having
kill chicken.
Demonic Force dropping down.
Chicken.
Brilliance from Mark Cutie back to safety. MLBB with all the chaos will be able to get the turtle. 2 turtles for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
I still think we're down in gold. So they're trying to play passive.
I feel like best player may have been in better hands if Basic got the Ruby gold, right? If they had the double fighter off lane.
Also, like one of the things I've always found out about Mobile Legends is that like one side
could be a problem for best player. Taking a look at the items though, I want to focus back on MLBB. He's 2-0-1. He's got the Blood Wings. He's 4K. He's 1.5 ahead of best player.
Ooh, speaking of best player, hit with the G-Kundo and away the dragon and shut down by Zia. Nas maybe next if he's not careful, forces out the split push.
Gotta find something somewhere, boys.
A tier 3 turret in BTK's favor.
All right, so BTK 4-0, 4K gold lead on top of that 4, up against Cloud9, wave control, lane control. They've taken the first tower of the game. It's looking similar to last time, and last week, but this time, I think as long as they can make sure Basic doesn't make any cheeky off-lane side pushes, you know, if they can control the macro, BTK will be okay here.
They wouldn't be able to catch
you're going to see Basic forced to rotate to the top
they
side
are
now.
delayed because they're being
Phobius. I wonder if he's going to stay there, or if Zia's going to rotate to go up against him. But right now, you can definitely tell BTK is in control of this early game. Some quick rotations, a lot of objectives working in their favor, and have found no deaths on top of that. Pretty much a flawless game. Highest kills going over to MLBB himself.
I would say our comp right now is not a pick-off comp.
Players we need to watch on Cloud9 to try to make the turnaround are going to be Mark Cutie, Cold World, Basic, right? Mark Cutie and Basic for the damage. Nats in trouble once again. Taken out.
We'll be able to shut him down. That's Nat's 3rd death so far in this game. BTK climbing with this lead, a snowball in the making, and Cloud9 needs to be careful or it's going to roll on top of them.
The Shark's been so aggressive on this show, man. 3 assists right now. 3 out of the 5 kills he's had a huge part of. And as I said, luckily Basic Mark Cutie hasn't taken a kill because that's, I think at this point, best player's out, right? Best player is essentially out of commission. I don't know how he's going to be the big turnaround. Mark Cutie and Basic are going to have to step up, but BTK, they're in the same shoes that Cloud9 had last game. BTK just need to play solid. They need to control lanes. They need to take towers and keep on moving forward.
And speaking of that, Zane on the same wavelength will take to tier 3 on the top side. Only a tier 3 standing in the mid lane. If they can push that in, they should be able to invade more comfortably onto the side of Cloud9's map. Zia
should be dead.
Displacement, 3 members make that 4 of Cloud9 on his tail. Given everything they've got, the split.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Tank comes out, he's still alive.
Shark.
Cutie. The finishing touches. We'll
Get out, boys.
They're
coming down.
Spawn back. But my God, Zia was holding on for dear life.
Gold lane
wish they would show the items.
is disgusting.
Yeah.
Can we just all admit the fact of that right now? It does a great amount of damage.
I don't think we have
anti-heal. Sustainability
yet.
is off the charts. It doesn't make any sense. And I think this Ruby may end up actually being the big trade factor between these two teams.
We need to find a way how to get a tower or two.
May be the big game changer for
we
whoever
get a tower or
gets it.
two and the gold to even out a bit.
Need some answers for Cloud9 right now. 6-2-1 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Warax for Zia, speaking of him, he's 6,000 gold. He's closing in on a 2,000 above Basic right now. Basic's got the Scythe, he just got the DHS. But when we take a look at Zia, he's coming in on the 3rd item right now. He also has the boots. He's just got a strong lead, and you pair that up with the Way of the Dragon.
Yeah, it does connect onto Nats, forced out the split.
Nice,
you already see Cold World forced to use that wild charge for the knockup to allow Nats to get back to safety. BTK just forcing Cloud9's hand right now. I mean, look at them now invading into their jungle, denying all the farm they can. Holy Crystal as well, picked up by Zane for some additional magic power.
Probably give first Lord, try to take bottom tower.
Zane being 2-0-3, just like what we saw from Best Player last game. Zane is even scaring off the tanks on the side of Cloud9. Nat's taking those 3 deaths at 9 minutes in. He's not really able to hold down the front line, and every time he tries to dive in, Shark is there ready to give him a swift kick to the face. I mean, and Shark is ready to give a swift kick to the face to anybody right now. Best Player doesn't feel safe. Nats doesn't feel safe. Shark is all around the map, and speaking of him, here he goes once again.
God,
yeah, both sides fighting on the orange buff. The Terrify connects onto Shark. Looks like they are still going to go in for it. Zane able to deny the orange buff from the Best Player. Now the battle may be on the way for the tier 3 in the mid lane.
Will you still go to MC?
Ready to take the fight. Zia is going to connect with a lot of crowd control.
I mean, here, they're still a lower
Cloud9 able
bracket.
to hold off the turret. Look at the Lord on the top side, though. This is going to buy BTK some time to be able to push in even further and take down tier 2s. You're looking on the bot side, Chicken already in position to be able to take it.
You know, Lord's going to be coming in. Cloud9 should be able to defend this. They have 2 marksmen. Look at the damage on Cold World.
Ooh, Zia will be able to take the tier 3 turret in the mid lane on top of all this engagement. Lord does get bursted down, but you are going to see the tier 2 fall alongside it. Chicken
could have been bad if he got caught. Did he purify? He didn't even purify.
By Zia, and now the inhibitors are all that's standing for Cloud9. Not a single turret has fallen for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
And the big thing for BTK here is because they haven't lost any of those turrets, it's a lot harder for Cloud9 to try to macro
trying to see where Basic's at. He's level 11,
it's a lot harder
which is
for them to
similar to everybody else. He really has to watch out for
plays. And last time,
Basic
had the Claude, which is a lot more slippery of a hero. They also had Best Player on a much more mobile Assassin. Taking a look at the items, though, and speaking of Best Player, he's just hitting the 6K mark. He is far, far behind. Even Shark is sitting at 4,800 right now, keeping his grounds. He's got the Thunderbelt in. He builds half magic, half physical. He's able to have enough defense, and nobody's really packing a punch just yet on the side of Cloud9.
Even Moba Zane's level 15 compared to Best Player at level 12 at the 11-minute mark, now trickling to the mid game, and it's looking like the end game with the pace that BTK is performing on. Speaking of pace,
oh my God, what a get out!
Back into the mid lane to safety, and another denial and an evasion play by BTK, allowing Moba Zane to take the purple buff.
Even though they don't get a kill there, since they get the purple buff, it's huge for the side of BTK, right? Now at this point, Moba Zane goes farm some of his own jungle. They got 22 seconds to kill, sit in some bushes, eat some snacks, and wait for Cloud9 at this point. Cloud9, what is the answer, Wheezy?
The answer is being a little bit more passive. I feel like they're getting too far behind to take these engagements, and with all the objectives stacked in BTK's favor, this is where they thrive, right? They're in their natural element. You are going to see this Lord spawn in, though. Now in effect, and you're already seeing Moba Zane.
I mean, Zia's going to be a tough one to kill.
Over to it.
It depends on if Basic has
they're focusing more on the split push, trying to find some type of opportunity to open up this map. They're not even going to be able to make it to this Lord. The only thing they can do right now is defend.
I mean, with Best Player being level 12, too, below Zane, it's like you can't even really go for the retry battle, right? Cloud9, the only way they could get the retry win, honestly, is if they get a big stun onto Moba Zane. And the problem is Cold World and Nats, they're 2 big stunners, aren't able to get in without getting shredded down. So BTK, unless they make some huge with here, right? Unless they make some big mistake, it does feel very comfortable in their hands. They do, I will say, there is a clock on this, right? They do need to, you know, finish this game. I think even if they don't finish it in this Lord, I think third Lord is going to be extremely important if they're not able to finish it here, because after third, once we get to fourth and fifth, Cloud9 starts to max out on items. Everyone starts to hit that level 15 mark, and the game starts to slowly even out instead of becoming more and more of an advantage to BTK.
And we're going to figure out if they can close it out here. You are going to see the Luminous Lord take down the inhibitor on the top side. The base has been open for Cloud9. Left to defend, and BTK on a possible push. They don't have the minions in the mid lane, though, so it's going to kind of delay them engaging on this play for a possible ender, and the Lord will be bursted down by Cloud9.
I love this little Mark Cutie and Zia there. They're both standing. Mark Cutie knows he's in range of the I'm offended, but Zia knows he has the Purify, and they're both trying to kind of bait out the other skill, but Zia's not falling for it.
Ooh, and you're going to see the inhibitor fall on the bot side. Best player doing his best, trying to stop the Bloodthirsty Kings, but their synergy is coming alive. It feels like they're decoding Cloud9 right now for game number 2. The Wild Charge play, though. Best player will make the most out of the setup. Takes down Zia the way the Dragon for the knockup. Who finds best player to respond? Basic finds Shark. Members dropping for both sides, 2-1. Moba Zane will find Basic, evening it out 2-2. Demonic Force save. Finding Cora with the head change. Demonic Force from Chicken. Hoon. Single Vision will find Mark Cutie. A full wipe out. The Bloodthirsty Kings will secure victory in game number 2 to even out this series against Cloud9. A full decoding and a flawless victory.
All right, Wheezy. Feels like every time we I love Zane coming up to the camera real quick. He knows, he's watching. He's like, I'm watching you guys. I see you, Zane. I see you. Now, I feel like Zane, Hoon, and Shark really, I mean,
can't let them
snowball, really stepped up their game that time. All of them, I think, going deathless in that match. All of them holding down the front lines. And even though Fried Chicken didn't get a whole bunch of kills, he got 8 assists, and he was continuously putting pressure onto Basic and the rest of the team.
Yeah, and that was just some great execution, right? I mean, it's like they went back to the drawing board and they found a whole nother answer for Cloud9, and they actually might have
go yell at him, Ritz.
For Cloud9 with how well they performed right there. We got to see how Cloud9 kind of responds to this now, right? I mean, I don't think they expected such a domination from the Bloodthirsty Kings in game number 2. This kind of reminds me of week 2 of the regular season when both of these teams faced off. Even though it was 3-1, when
Mar didn't pick up anti-heal until like
BTK was actually in the advantage. We thought they were going to be able to close out the game, but they just weren't able to do it. It looks like they've learned from that mistake, and they were able to close it out this time. So I'm seeing a lot of improvement, and I'm looking forward to seeing both of these teams face off in the third game.
Yeah, I think BTK learned from their lesson last time, and it's just told themselves, listen, if we got a big gold lead, if we're down to like that second, third Lord,
that's what I was telling you in the very beginning.
Right? We don't want to give Cloud9 the chance for them to, you know, get enough control on the map where they can macro a little bit, get enough control on the map where they can push us back. And even with Zia, makes a little mistake on that last engage there, right? He finally pops his I'm offended, doesn't connect onto anybody, and Cloud9 takes that moment to try to attack back. I'm sure we'll see it in the replays once we get to it. But there's a big moment that I want to kind of highlight there. BTK still kind of overcomes, and we're going to jump into these highlights. You can take us through some of the beginning.
Yeah, just both sides flashing it out, but overall still
your primary escape closure.
We really didn't get to see best player get online with this Roger, who's supposed to be very early, super aggressive, but not able to find the opportunity. Shark, there goes the way the Dragon setups. It's very hard to deal with. On top of having this Phobius pickup by Fried Chicken. There goes another way the Dragon. It's just a full Shark highlight montage right now for game number 2. Every time he got a setup with the way the Dragon, it led to a kill.
Yeah, and the fact that they bullied down on the Nats so much that game completely nullified the front line that C9 wanted to bring was just huge. Zia does. I think this is his only death, but even here, look how long he survives for 4 members of Cloud9 on top of him, and Hoon also, but here we go. I'm pretty sure Zia, he had just used his I'm offended right there, missed, and this is when Cloud9 jumps on him. They do get the kill, but then the rest of BTK responds back a big way. The Dragon able to get the kill onto best player there. Fried Chicken starts popping off, and even though Basic is getting a bunch of free shots, it's just not enough, and Fried Chicken is just ult, demonic force, demonic force, demonic force, and there was just no answer for the tankiness and damage that BTK brought to those fights.
I'll tell you what, nothing's more satisfying than using a Phobius with a demonic force, man. It's like a slam dunk cam on repeat. But, you know, something that you did make a point on was NACT in that game. We just didn't really get to see him show up and get very comfortable like we've seen in the regular season or even in game number 1. On the glue, it just didn't really hit like I think he expected it to, and it got chicken to be able to get online very early and be very effective. So I'm starting to think that their game plan is to get NAS uncomfortable, as he's possibly the momentum driver for the side of Cloud9. But we're going to have to see how Cloud9 responds to this. Now they are first in the draft. You're seeing the Belleric
they better
banned out here, which is a little interesting. But yeah, I would have said maybe a chip ban maybe on the way. There's still assassins on the table, though. I mean, you still have the Nolan, which could be working their favor. The Hayabusa is still up for grabs. The Julian maybe picked up again for the 3rd time for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
All right, so BTK switch it up from game 1. This time they are back on red side. So far, it's 100% to the blue side. If BTK wants to win this best of 5, they need to win a red side match, right? They have to, at some point, win out on this red side. Let's see if this one's the possibility. With Chip being out, C9 first pick, do they lock in that Valentina again? It seems to be kind of a comfort pick for them. Or do they go for the Ruby? Because right now, it is a power play for both teams.
I would definitely go for the Ruby. I feel like just the fact that it can be flexed into 3 different roles has been huge. This is another big pick, though, that was a problem. The Jushin has been such a threat with Cloud9. I feel like that was one of the reasons why they were able to secure game number 1. Just the pressure from Marcuti. We didn't really get to see Hoon get comfortable going up against it. So they are going to have to watch out for that. But that allows a lot of picks to be slotted in for BTK. They could pick up the Phobius again alongside the Ruby. They could get their Julian here. And I don't think best player is going to take the Julian, so I don't know if they're really going to prio it here. I would definitely go in possibly for the Ruby and the Phobius play, or even the Khalid. But I don't know. You know what I'm noticing?
For real, honestly, like I kind of go in and
I think it's just
like I like to
research
look at the
based
THC
on
content.
Something we don't
like
know.
To get anything like above
No,
22,
we know because the
like
like yesterday we got to see a lot of
but
counters to it. So there's a lot of
generally like
vulnerabilities,
hybrids for real.
and they're not going to take the
like
risk
the
on
best
top of that.
world,
Here goes the Phobius pickup, and here's a midfielder that I expected to see a lot during the playoffs, but this is a debut.
Yeah, what I like about this Matilda too, especially against the Jushin, is you have a lot more ability to kind of dance in and out. You have the ability to get your team away from that Lantern Flare, and you're able to kind of get around the zoning that Marcuti wants to bring in. This is what I was worried about. You said the best player might not pick the Julian, but I had a feeling we might see it, honestly, because I'm like, well, they keep on banning out best player. Mobazane keeps picking Julian. Why not just take the Julian? And now BTK is like, okay, what do we go for? They still have the Bane, maybe a possibility, but a nice Cho pick. Because I was thinking, in my mind, I'm like, all right, what could BTK pick? They went for the Matilda instead, but C9 kind of flipping the script on him right now.
Man, best player, if you don't let this man pick up his Julian, this should just be illegal right now. But yeah, they're gonna go ahead and deny it. I mean, hey, it works almost as effectively as a ban does. If you can't ban it, just pick it. But that's going to force Zane to pick up the Nolan here, or the Bane pickup possibly on the way before they do jump into the second phase of the draft. There goes the Bane pickup right there. A debut Bane on top of that, so we're excited to see it nonetheless. But there has been a threat, and that has been this Cho. We've just seen it work out so well. This time it's going to be Cold using the Cho, not Shark, so we'll be able to see if he can get the job done as well with the way the Dragon plays. But I'm liking the way the draft looks for both sides. You're looking at BTK. You have a Bane. It's very push-oriented. You're able to burst down these turrets with ease. You're able to rotate across the map. You have a little bit of a range with the Crab Claw Cannon and on top of that. And then, hey, when things get a little tricky, even when you can be overly aggressive, you have a Matilda to get you back to safety with the guiding wind.
So, I mean, there's so much matchups between these two teams. It's like so many players fighting to be like, I'm the #1 in NA. Even between Cold World and Shark at this point, the Cho going back and forth. We saw Cold World play an amazing Cho last week against BTK. So we know he's got that way of the dragon. He's got the moves and grooves on him, man. On the side of C9, I think, do they ban out the Ruby here, right? Do they ban out? Because the Ruby could be a beautiful answer to the Cho here. Could be a good answer to the Julian as well. Ruby gold lane could definitely be solid. A little bit more boxing around Mobazane on this Bane, because Mobazane's definitely going to be a prime target. You don't get any flickers on the Bane, right? You're forced with the Retry. You're not a very movable. Yes, you have the Deadly Catch to disengage, but when you have so many things to kind of counter you, like the Cho, like the Jushin, the Zone, to just Kite, you have a lot of things that can give MLBB trouble here. I think they need a little more protection on him.
They could throw the Ruby in there. I think it would be, if they want to play for the survivability aspect, it definitely can work in their favor. But if they want to throw in something that has a little bit more push potential, they could also throw in the Claude. I mean, especially up against a diving-oriented composition. You have the Cho who's going to rush in with the Way of the Dragon. You have the BMI to be able to get back to safety. I think both of them are excellent reads. I do think that the Ruby could be huge here, though, because they are lacking in the crowd control department. But there goes the Ruby ban out, so they aren't going to be able to slot that in for game number 3. But there's still a lot of marksmen on the table. Actually, every single marksman is up for grabs right now. And BTK has Cryo to be able to decide exactly what they want to do with that. We got to see what the plan is, though, for Cloud9, right? We saw Chicken. He was on fire with this Phobius, and he just didn't show up, at least for game number 2. The glue did not work the way I think he thought it would work up against the Phobius, and I think he picked it because it would be a potential counter. So now we got to see what's his response for game number 3. Does he have an answer for Chicken on the Phobius?
The position, Atlas. Get under the desk.
I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one, right? I think the Phobius is a power hitter, and with the Gatot, the high-low, so many things being gone, the Ruby gone. I mean, Nats could still go for something comforting, you know, like the Khalid, go for something comforting, like the Arlot, something that can maybe bully around MLBB again. Hoon, though, picks up this Eve pick, and he seems to be one of the only mages in NACT right now going for it. But again, with the composition that BTK wants to bring here, having all these physical hitters, the Eve can set up the box, and BTK just plays in it. There goes the Khalid pick for C9. All they need now is their gold.
The Khalid is back in action, and what better way to fight it out than against a Phobius? It's going to be fireworks inside of the XP lane for game number 3. Nats didn't show up, but this time he's going to have a little bit of a heavier hitter on his side. I can't wait to see how that engagement goes between both of North America's finals.
I was like, I don't know what that means.
There goes the Claude we talked about. This is going to go to the side of Cloud9, and I feel like the reason for that is there's 2 reasons for that. One is to deny Cloud9 or BTK from being able to pick that up. 2 is to be able to use the BMI to get back to safety, especially when you have the RWM dropping down from Hoon. You know that entire grid square, it can lock you down with the crowd control and can be very hard to get out of. So a marksman that can play for survivability is going to be huge here. And BTK, they're going to do the same thing.
Just like
Claude with survivability with the BMI.
Yeah, so I was like, I didn't know if I was maybe that high.
He's got a shelf in there now.
Dude, in the bed's on
really good matchup.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I was like, am I that high? I was like,
great.
I was thinking that maybe like the
besides play it out.
Yeah, I do really like Cloud9's draft here. I think the Khalid, the Raging Sandstorm, could be very scary against Hoon. Could be very scary against MLBB against this big clumped up composition that BTK wants to bring. BTK on the other hand, even now with the Natan, very late game hero, the Bane, pretty late game. Yes, there is some. I mean, there is some potential that if they get a couple kills early on, as BTK likes to do, they can put themselves in an early start.
Wrong with that, man. People who made millions of dollars
Cloud9, this composition from them just feels very Cloud9, you know, like basic, it's the Claude. You have the assassin on best player. You have you have a very fast moving hero for Nats, very all over the map. It feels like what they normally like to bring.
We're going to see which team will be able to execute their composition according to plan as we jump into game number 3 for the upper bracket finals of the North American Challenger Tournament. Who will be able to take this series in their favor?
Definitely going to be up on the map. Cloud9 with Cold War on the Cho. I mean, just overall with a lot of Cloud9 picks, it's very fast moving, heavy rotations, lots of zoning, lots of single target pressure. I mean, just Cloud9 has definitely, I feel like, brought a pretty scary composition. BTK does have answers, though. So let's see exactly how it plays out.
Yeah, they definitely have answers, but I'm right with you. Cloud9 can be very aggressive a lot earlier than BTK can. You're going to have to wait for Zia to get online with this Natan. But they have a lot of survivability working inside of BTK's favor, speaking of survivability.
Boy, quick.
So it doesn't matter who's on the Cho, right? It is just a pain.
That boy, Cold World gave him a little pecker.
It is a pain. BTK forced to kind of take the long route. Hoon hovering down in the mid side. Let's take a look at some of the emblems. Nothing too crazy across the map. Everything pretty basic. And overall, no big off-lane ganks just yet.
Come on over.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary
to be
so
in the
far. You see
stream
the quantum charges picked up as well for more maneuverability and movement speed from Zia, and as well as basic. Right now, though, I mean, Cloud9, I wonder how the first turtle is going to come into effect, right? I mean, they do have a more aggressive composition, but Zane, he has range. He's running on this Bane and is very objective focus. Not to mention they have the sustainability from Shark on the Matilda.
Yeah,
with the Matilda, they have a lot of ways to at least engage and disengage, which I think will be very helpful with kind of getting out of this lantern flare, with getting away from the Khalid, with dodging away from the Cho. There's definitely the possibilities there, but here comes a big engage. Down comes real world manipulation. Nats both caught in a best player, able to get that turtle. Now Boone a little bit of trouble. Way the dragon does connect, brings it back, and Boone goes down. First blood.
What a dodge, bro!
Ooh, that's gonna hurt a lot. Now
invade, little 2 balls in maybe.
A lot of damage does lock on.
Or I'm not sure why he died there. Maybe
waiting for the crowd to come out.
No retreat.
Does look like it goes over to Mobazane there. Yes, he is able to just secure it. Best player now in a little bit of trouble as Fried Chicken brings down the demonic force. More damage stacking on. Fried Chicken trying to chase as well, but he does not have the circling eagle, so they can't get the full engage.
The sidestep from Nats right there, barely evading Fried Chicken on the escape and also helping Kite and bring back members to safety as best player was in a little bit of a pinnacle right there. Right now, 1 kill on the board for Cloud9 and also a turtle
through
to
the
work
window.
in their favor. Definitely a different
story. I was like, damn, the fans are crazy.
Even when we saw the in-game stats,
they done stormed the boot camp.
In BTK's favor. And now it's starting to look like Cloud9 is starting to get a little bit more
cat that's roaming the neighborhood.
Jump into game number
and it popped
3.
up in the window.
Some of the items on the board.
Yeah.
What the
really,
fucking Charmella, like, man,
picked up
fucking
crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Can definitely work in his favor to be able to sustain.
Yeah, so we had to throw it there because it likes to like jump from that tree to
it comes over here often?
Yeah.
I guess it found another cat.
Yeah.
Who is slightly behind in the
it likes to jump from that tree.
On this,
so we had to throw some.
I like this motherfucker has a
technique.
What's it look like?
Look at the damage on a Mobazane though. Best player.
I think it's like almost looks like
and
Princess.
That's paired up with a raging sandstorm.
It's like a black and white cat.
BTK definitely falling behind in the early phase, and this was the worry with their composition. It definitely feels late game. At this point, BTK needs to just kind of hang on, wait for the spikes to hit, wait till Mobazane is actually outputting the damage, wait until Z is outputting the damage. Basic definitely in control of the gold lane. More damage though, locking on in this EXP side. Fried Chicken and Sharkman are going to kind of have to, I think, be the pillars here to help BTK sustain the punches that Cloud9 wants to bring.
Yeah, speaking of punches, the battle for the turtle on the way.
Yeah, turtle is brought low. Best player still able to secure the RWN. Does drop, and C9 just disengages. We don't care about it. Again, C9, when they're in the lead like this, they don't want to take the big fights. They want to take the objectives.
Yeah, and that is exactly what they're doing right now. 2 turtles on their side, 2 kills as well. Even though they're not having a high kill game, we know just how impactful these small victories can be, and Cloud9 definitely comfortable right now.
Oh shit, Tank was in the short stream.
See how BTK is one thing
another day with the boys.
They have a late game composition. But Cloud9, they understand that, and they're going to be aggressive. They're going to harass Mobazane. They're going to try and deny every single objective from being claimed to get an early finish.
And they're able to do that, right? Especially with Cold World on the Cho. They're able to stay in BTK's face. And even if they don't take the orange buff, even if they don't take the purple buff from Mobazane, they still slow him down. And with that, we're seeing best player being 3 levels ahead of Mobazane right now. We're seeing him holding a decent gold lead. We're seeing Cloud9 starting to escape. We are coming down to the 6-7 minute mark. BTK will hit a power spike at some point. Cloud9 wants to stop it. A lot of damage, enhanced chains, big knockup. Zane goes down first. Fried Chicken now also in trouble, brings out the demonic force, trying to survive, trying to hang on. Trying to do anything. The best player still secures the double kill, and now Cloud9 onto the tier 3 tower.
A big win in Cloud9's book right there. Able to shut down Mobazane. He's finding his 2nd death of this game. Chicken, that will be his 1st as well. Hoon falling even earlier in the match.
We had to go have a talk with him, you know?
Power spike that BTK is kind of leaning in on, and it's going to keep checking off these objectives for the side of Cloud9 for a possible early finish if they're not careful. Mobazane now going to try and get this purple buff. Look at Nats. He's just harassing, just providing that pressure. Basic able to take the tier 3 turret on the top side, leaving only the tier 3 in the mid for the taking. Right now, it's just a game of chess, and it's looking like Cloud9 is 1 step ahead of the Kings, and it's very hard for them to take these fights.
They took 3.
Super aggressive.
They took 2 on the right and 1 on the left.
They also have a lot of mobility. With Cho
had to go back, so the reset and to be able to take the next turtle.
Able to use that sand in his favor. It's a hard team to catch out of position, and they don't really have heavy crowd control to work in their favor for BTK.
And another big problem, right?
Almost got his name.
Fusion, that Lantern Flare is the bane of Bane's existence right now. Because normally Bane,
whoever
okay
dies
on
buys
some
the
of those
team
turtles.
drinks.
He's able to sit up and wait to pop off that deadly catch. Right
how do you know, Rich?
And here comes Cold World though with a beautiful way the dragon paired up. Raging Sandstorm.
Can they get out
the tower, and Best Player gets another kill. Plus
Hoon
the
ain't
tower.
doing no damage.
And now Shark, Fried Chicken, Hoon just want to defend with
the bottom
C9
tower?
already output the damage. And look at Basic already up to the top side.
Damn.
Natso takes a nice shot from Mobazane,
Nice
but
flicker,
Mobazane doesn't
though.
overcommit, cannot get the kill.
Yeah, and another turret will fall. Basic takes the tier 2 on the top side. Overall, Cloud9 will win that trade, but they lose the tier 3 on the bottom.
Oh, Mobazane in trouble. Does bite the dust on that one. Basic pops off the Blazing Duet just to make sure there's no escape. Minions will be coming soon, and Cloud9 are not letting up on the gas.
Yeah, Zane now 0-3-0, off to a rough start. Hoon right
Come on,
behind
discipline,
him,
Cold World. Don't
0-2-0.
be-
BTK yet
be
to
fucking
put a
with him
kill
like that
on
now.
the board or claim a single
Bros,
objective.
I'm gonna have to take his Starbucks away.
In this entire game, Starlight Requiem picked up by Zia
Discipline,
as
my
well.
boys.
This has just been such a great game
No unnecessary
for
peel.
Cloud9, picking up Zane's Julian and using it against him. Best player. Looking like
I remember
going for
seeing that
MVP.
game. Did you throw that on where they
4-0-2,
threw?
highest kills
Like,
in the
the team
game.
literally
and
threw
outscaling
by
Zane
TPing
up by 3
on the base.
Looking at a goal difference of
Yeah, so like in
8,000
like a
at the
very
8-minute mark. That's like 1,000 goals
if they
per
wouldn't have
minute.
TP'd, they would have won the
Basic
grand
just
final.
finished the
won it.
Trinity
And
build,
then
right?
they-
Just got in that corrosion
And then they
site,
TP'd,
went for it as his
and then the
third,
team
and with
respawned,
that, Basic
and
is
then
gonna start,
turned the tide.
I mean, it's been more of
wiped
a
them,
best player,
and then beat
more
the game,
2D Cold
and then
World
went
match.
into a game
Now Basic
7.
really starts to get involved in this.
They win the-
He's going to be
they win the set?
the
I
one
don't
who can
know.
really
Did they?
shred down Fried Chicken here. He's going to be the one who can really help out
It was,
in a lot of
yeah.
these fights. And BTK
The
is going
coach,
to put
the
more
coach,
into a
boy, he was
corner. We're
pissed.
still waiting on Zia to come online. He's got the Starlight Scythe in, Feather of Heaven, but I still think he needs about 1, maybe even 2 more items, because by the time he gets 3, everyone else on Cloud9 is going to have 4 or 5. So it's going to be a while until Zia can really output what they need him to.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a rough game for the side of the Bloodthirsty Kings. Forced down to their inhibitor turrets. We haven't even passed the 10-minute mark.
Like, this is the discipline the
Cloud9
boys
has
need.
responded
Like,
very strong.
if they
to
would
the
just play
performance in
every game
number
like
2 with
this,
BTK's domination.
World's
It's been
about
a
to
match
be
of ping pong between
a good-
both sides.
a good
This
time.
Lord now marching through the mid lane. It's an opportunity for Cloud9 to make this base be opened in their favor.
No one's
BTK
banning Ling there, that
trying
is
to defend,
true.
Trying to hold them off, but can they do it?
I don't know. BTK is pushed up against wall. Cold World goes in for a big kick. Gabriel locked on. Mobazane goes down. He's the first to drop. Hoon finds Cold World. It's a 1-for-1. Lord still on the tower. Inhibitor still up though. Cloud9 tries to re-switch, rewind, move up to the top side. Best player able to find the inhibitor.
Yo.
Now BTK under the base. And as we know, C9 might not back off just yet. Another wave of minions.
Well, you guys are
coming
getting
down
all
the mid.
free
Fried Chicken
feet
holding the front
pics from the
nets.
side of
Does not
BTK.
have the Raging
Take some
Sandstorm.
take some
BTK doesn't have to watch
screenshots,
out
boys.
for that
Sell them
just yet.
online.
Basic going to the backside with a Blazing Duet. Outputting the damage on a Fried Chicken. BMI's back, and another one goes down. It's Shark on the block. Nats now moving in. Mobazane back up on him to help defend. Mobazane should be able to clear away these waves. Cloud9 might not be able to end it just yet, but if they can get another inhibitor, it is a big plus. Are they staying
dodge,
too
good
long?
dodge.
They're all able to dodge the deadly catch. Fried
Last
Chicken
hour.
finally gets rid of this cannon minion, and BTK are here for another day.
No, but minions are
90
still
seconds.
coming in.
I would just take the tower and go.
Now watch for Cold World. He does have the way of the dragon
Like,
in his pocket right now.
at
One
least
big
that's it.
pick
I mean,
could be the
if
game
they make a
changer.
mistake here, then
One
it's-
big
it's
kick
a problem.
could change it all.
They
Cold
saved
World
it?
does have to does have to go back a little bit too much damage. BTK finally starting to output a little
Wow.
bit.
All right, this is that late game
I
that we're
can't
starting to see,
look
right?
at
We're only at the
me.
10-minute mark, but they're starting to be able to do a
We're
little
still in
bit
the
of
mid
damage.
game.
That's what Zane always says
That
when
Feather Heaven
he
Starlight
dies.
Requiem.
I
Arcane
can't
Boots
look
picked
at
up over there by
me.
Zia. Man, this is a battle that BTK will have to fight. They need to find a way to turn this around. They're only holding on to an inhibitor on the bot side. 11 minutes in. Cloud9 off to a great way to keep this series in their favor, regain their control after being dominated in game number 2. Basically,
Someone said
talked about it
Zane
taking
bought
time
Jungle
bomb
Boots
on
at,
this
like,
Claude.
8 minutes?
He's got that core Trinity
full-
build. He's
full
definitely going to
boots?
be hitting like a truck. And that's something that BTK is going to have to watch out for. Zia just a little bit behind him in terms of the economy. But you are looking at best player. He's already level 15.
highest in the game. Zane right behind him at 13. Right now,
spoil chat. Look away if you don't want spoilers.
You know what it be. You know what it be. You know what it be. That was a sexy pick, my boy. Zane didn't see it coming.
The Lord pick in the lanes.
Oh, we didn't see it coming.
Make sure you stare down the camera next time.
Let's stare down the camera.
Freezing up the lanes though, right?
You should have seen it last time. Zane was like full facing the camera.
They're gonna rush down on this low down. BTK can't even really contest and look at pace.
Oh yeah, second game. He got right in the camera. I'll do it. We got right in the camera.
He pulled up his pants, chat.
He's hold up.
Yeah,
hold up.
Zia, like Zia is really gonna have to get online and fast. Time and options.
Yo, that kick on his Zane, bro. You did him dirty.
What Thirsty Kings we're talking about, right? I mean, if Zia can start hitting, that's when it's going to be a problem. And that's something that Cloud9 does not want to take lightly.
Boys. Good discipline.
That the hills from Shark.
Other than you TPing in their base.
But with a Luminous Lord
TPing
on the side
in their
of
base.
Cloud9 and the lanes currently synced in the full 5-man team push.
That boy said, let me just give you a little look-see at what you got to deal with.
Watch for the big raging sandstorm from Nats. Does not fully connect though. The RWM does come out with the Lord already onto the base. They got to stop Basic. They got to stop Cold World. They got to stop Cloud9. But they can't. Cloud9
You're the Cloud, baby.
Number 3.
You're the Cloud.
You're the Cloud. You know what it be.
Further in the series, now up 2-1 against the Bloodthirsty Kings. They said don't count them out just yet. Game number 2.
That was a good game, chat.
We didn't have
that was a good
game. Number 3, we came prepared. 9-2-23 on the KDA, but overall the objectives is what we want to focus on. They were able to take pretty much everything with ease and shut down BTK for game number 3.
Yeah, I feel like, we've gone back and forth. All 3 games have just kind of been a stomp for the winning team, and this time C9 are the ones with their boots on, right? Taking a look at Nats, taking a look at Basic. I mean, taking a look at everyone on the team. They all played phenomenal, but once again, best player goes 5-0-3, and when best player is having a good game, his team's having a good game. And I mean, the same could be said for BTK. Last time when Zane was having a good game, his team was having a good game. So a lot of this coming down to a battle of the junglers. Who can get one that can hang out in the fray and make sure they get these retries off?
Yeah, it really is just boiling down to who can get these turtles and who can get these buffs. Who can be more on the invasion side and not the reactionary side trying to defend. It's like the offense is what's kind of shining more when it comes to both of these teams clashing it out. And this time we'll work on Cloud9's side. Just a lot of damage taken from both sides as well. It's a rough one, right? It's like if you can take these turtles, the snowball effect is just very hard to come back from. We have yet to see it. It's like pretty much if you take 2-3 turtles, you're almost guaranteed the game, at least with what we're seeing so far within this series. Now, BTK, we got to see how they respond. I'm pretty sure for game number 4, they are going to have first pick in the draft, so they should be able to possibly form a strategy. But man, just some excellent gameplay from Cloud9 to secure this victory for game number 3.
And taking a look at these replays, C9 was just on top of them all the time. Even Fried Chicken being on a sustainable Phoveus was not enough. And we see C9 once again take the more grouped up route. Take it. So listen, if you want to fight, we can fight. We're gonna pick you off one by one. Have 3 or 4 members jump on a Mobazane. Have 3 or more members jump onto Hoon. Jump onto Fried Chicken, and we'll take you out piece by piece.
Yeah, able to break it down like a Kit Kat. Right there, Cloud9 able to open up the base, and then right here they went in for the killer, for the finish, and BTK just too far behind in the economy. I mean, you're looking at an 11K difference, right? Look at it, 42,000 gold to 31,000 gold right there at the 13-minute mark. There's not much you can really do there. The damage is just going to outscale you, the defense is going to outscale you, and overall the synergy is going to outscale you. Cloud9, they showed up and they came prepared. This is a different Nas that we've seen as well. He was definitely a lot more online. He picked up the Khalid to go up against the Phoveus, who Phoveus kind of had the spotlight in game number 2 with Chicken. But now with Nats getting a hero that he can be a little bit more aggressive on, it kind of seems like it helped him out in the slightest. But here we go, jumping into game number 4, a potential chance for BTK to even out the series and take us to a game number 5. Hey,
yeah, G likes to do team rituals
but
before
I love
they
to see a match
I guess the whole
go the distance,
C9 does.
especially
Do like
these
a break,
two teams.
little chant,
Yeah, I think especially with these two teams, but I think the question a lot of reminds us, will Nats, will his prediction reign strong, right? Last time he said 3-1, he got it right. This time it's scary, right? C9, if they take this red side win, they finish it off 3-1 and they still have a strong victory over BTK. BTK in a position where they need to win. And the big worry, I think, for BTK fans is, did C9 just crack the code, right? Picking up the Julian. Does BTK rush it this time, right? Do they rush it? Because I think having the Bane is just a little too late game, man. And if they do go for the Bane again, if they are put back into that position, they need something bursty on Hoon, right? They need something early game bursty on somebody other than Zane, right? Because as we just saw, if best player gets online, if Nats gets online, BTK is not going to be able to make that game go to 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, right here, Cloud9 could just ban out the Julian. I mean, because it's going to be rushed by the Bloodthirsty Kings. I would assume so. If not, they're going to probably pick up that Ruby again to be able to flex it into multiple different roles. But I would probably just take out the Julian right here, because when Zane's on it, he's going to perform, but you don't really get to see the same story with a lot of these heroes. They're going to take out that chip, though.
Yeah.
We got to see how effective the chip was. Cloud9 was actually the one who did use the chip, though, against BTK. But BTK with Shark, definitely expect him to be able to do the same exact thing. But this opens up an opportunity. BTK has to make a choice here. Phoveus or Julian?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, where's
No. We still got something for you. They go for the Jushin up first. And big chance we could still see that Valentina Grok pick, but instead they go for the Julian, maybe the Valentina here. Matilda, so more switch up, I mean, from both sides. And honestly, just taking the Julian into their hands is an aggressive play from the side of C9. And Hoon already having to lock in the Jushin means no big burst, early game burst damage from their mid side. So if Mobazane has to go into that Bane again, it's kind of a scary pick when I look at it. So let's see exactly how they play it out, though.
Yeah, this is going to be the Mathilda, though, this time for Cloud9. We got to see it in BTK's hands for game number 3, but it just didn't get online with the heals that they were looking forward to. But with picking up the Mathilda this early, they may actually lock in the Valentina here. I think that's going to be the next pickup, because it'll be able to take the I'm Offended. It's going to put on some draft pressure that can definitely work in their favor. There goes Zane again, forced with that Julian taken away from him to pull out this Bane. It's kind of like Cloud9 is just adding to their notebook, right? They're adding to their notes about forcing Zane's hand. And I mean, hey, to give credit where it's due, BTK was the first one to force out a jungle, right? They forced the Nolan onto best players. So they're kind of throwing their punch right back at them. So speaking of punches, there goes a heavy hitter. The Claude is going to be locked in, showcasing both ADCs, as there goes the Ruby as well for Zia. The Ruby, though, has been very great with the setups with the I'm Offended, pretty much zoning majority of the marksmen's out as well. Even the Claude on top of that, which is a marksman who's very mobile and can hit like a truck, and it's not something you want to take lightly. You're looking at a lot of survivability, though, for both sides.
Yeah, Ruby's just a scary hero, especially in the hands of Zia, man. Zia plays it phenomenally. I'm excited to see Hoon jump on the Jushin, because we haven't really gotten to see him. It's been more of a Marcuti pick over the last day. So I'm excited to see how exactly that works and what they're going to put on Shark to create space for Hoon here and to also be aggressive. Do they just go? Well, no, I was just about to say the Cho, but the Cho is banned out from BTK here. They could go for something like the Lolita, maybe. Something that can kind of bounce back some of those hits from basic. Something maybe a bit more protective, because again, having Mobazane on this Bane means he is just a prime target in the early game, and he needs to not die, right? He needs to be able to get to minute 6 being able to just farm, right? He needs to be able to get to that third turtle, first Lord, being farmed completely, just 0 deaths, having a good game, and that's when we're going to really see the Bane at its full potential.
Yeah, we got to see what's going to be pulled into the XP lane for both sides as well, right? I mean, the R-Lot has yet to be picked up from either side. I would have thought that it would have been showcased a lot more today, but it's kind of nostalgic not being able to see it. Hopefully it does pop up in here, though. I think it'd be an excellent answer. It still could technically work for BTK, right? You mentioned Zane needs to play for survivability. He needs to be able to get to these objectives. He needs somebody to zone out Cloud9 from stopping him, and an R-Lot can do exactly that. You know, another option on the table, actually, never mind, it just got banned out. The Phoveus was still on the board. Now there is a Katat, there is a Khalid as well. Both of these can still be aggressive. You've seen them heavily prioed from majority of these teams. There goes that Aurora pickup too. Speaking of crowd control, that was something that Cloud9 did not have a lot of, but when you throw the Aurora in the mix, it could definitely work out. They still need, I feel like, a little bit more CC, though. They need a true frontline hero that can zone out BTK, and that's going to put a lot of pressure onto Nats.
Assume the position.
Definitely a lot of pressure on the Nats, unless they just want to take the speed route, right? The fast boy route. They have the Matilda that says, we're just going to be in and out. We're going to attack, disengage. BTK, on the other hand, what I'm worried about BTK here is lack of real damage, right? Having Hoon on the
who did they sacrifice before the match?
I almost want to see maybe this Ruby flex to EXP and give Zia something with some early game potential. They go okay. So this is like Godspeed last week. Just all fighters pretty much, except for Hoon, who's on the Jushin.
They're gonna be lacking damage. What the fuck?
The damage can come out from the Khalid. He could definitely go hybrid build. He goes for the Thunder Bell first, locks it up, and you'd be surprised how much Katat does as well. So not only do they bring some tankiness, they bring some decent chip damage. So will these unmovable objects be able to take on the speed that C9 is bringing? Right? It's definitely two very different compositions going against each other.
Inferno?
You know what BTK is doing? They're securing the early game. That's all they're worried about. They're just worried about getting these turtles and getting these lords. They're comfortable enough to say that if we get these objectives, we can close it out with an early finish and not have to worry about the late game damage potential that you're kind of hinting on. There goes that CC though.
Weezy's bed's actually like professionally made this time. It's like straight. Yeah.
He pulls out the CC. He's able to pretty much out-rotate.
Corners are tucked other than whatever that's hanging out there.
This time he's going to be going up against Chicken. I think it's going to be the first time Chicken's going to go up against the CC with Nats being the one to run it.
This ain't Trex's first statue, is it, chat?
Now, that does limit them again.
Is he only putting the most current one up?
Pretty much zone out. Now, I guess you have damage with the CC, but the crowd control is where I feel like Cloud9 is kind of lacking on, which is going to make it a little bit easier, or probably even way easier for BTK to take these turtles in the beginning of this game. And that seems to be their plan, right? They want to take the objectives. They want to take these turtles. They want to take these lords.
He's gotten so much stuff from Mobile Legends. You know, we actually haven't received too much from Mobile Legends this year.
He's going to eat everybody alive.
I don't think we received anything.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're going.
Like I was like, take a gander. I was like, I don't remember the last thing I got from Mobile Legends.
The in, the out. Yes, they lack the crowd control, and I think it's definitely going to be
the last thing I got
in terms of who really gets these first objectives, because yes,
I think it was the
BTK are some tanky boys who can really hang out in the pit, but all it takes is one
there wasn't even like
to give best player an early game kill, and things could tip very bad for them. So I do think there's still
they didn't have too many events going on this year.
Out in the early game
they should have a JJK one or something.
Like I said, it's two very different drafts. But let's jump in to game number 4.
Maybe they just didn't put me on the draft because I've been AFK for so much.
Take us to game 5.
Man, it kind of feels like
it's hard being a KOL and a manager of a pro team.
When both of these teams fought it out in this same exact situation. BTK down.
One more game, chat.
Against Cloud9.
One more game.
Forced to try and even out this series.
They pulled the Bane back out and they pulled the Ruby back out.
Bracket. Will BTK be able to pull this off, or will we see Cloud9 move on forward as the first grand finalist?
Donald Trump went live on
a lot of damage on the moon there.
Yeah, a lot of damage. Bursted pretty low. He almost fell right there.
So, I mean, at this point, Hoon is going to be on the
you don't mind?
I'm wondering, like I said before, I'm wondering how he's going to play.
I was like, how did I get
as good as Mark Cutie played?
How did I get a notification?
Is this Aurora maybe a good answer to it? You do have some nice.
That's what I was like, they just putting this noti out to everybody.
Adding the freeze on that, the Jushin can't just kind of freely sit there, right? Jushin has to maybe move back when Aurora's bringing down those icicles, because if Aurora just tries to continue the kite, you get frozen, you get some damage to your face, and what we just saw almost happens.
You just gotta play good discipline, you know, like not be super aggressive. They kind of learned. Shark's not gonna be there.
Such a bully right now with Mark Cutie. He's pretty much not allowing BTK to really push in. Here goes the turtle play that we were looking for.
Looks
like best player is going to be able to secure
I was like, is Zane dead? He got killed so hard
with the early game composition, they're the ones who needs to take this.
Yeah, I mean, it's an early game, but also like just having Bane.
I'm hoping the next series don't have like
Bane
a
is gonna have
hour
some
break.
trouble here.
Yeah,
it's
hour
not gonna
break.
jungle as fast as best player.
I guess it's only an hour.
It's not gonna move around the map as fast as best player on this Julian. So I think it's a lot of things are coming down to the rest of the team right now and how they create space for Zane to get to that turtle. Can they delay the turtle enough that he can kind of catch up and be there to match best player? Because with having the Matilda, having all of the, the Claude, having the CC.
I wouldn't
Cloud9
be surprised if Trex and Seth Weezy don't get invited to World.
That's going to be the answer.
But to be honest, I don't even know if they'll invite a North American cast.
Off to a good start taking this.
Well, they have
to
every
work in their
year.
favor. We have to see how BTK responds, right? If they're not going to be able to get these turtles,
I don't know. I mean, with the budget cut of this, I can only imagine that the casters should have went first before the damn tournament.
So let's see.
Like, don't budget cut the tournament, budget cut the stats. Like
Zane not too far behind. Zia did just get in the War Axe, so a little bit more damage over to Zia. Zia, I think, if they can get him involved,
I feel like that's where the internal problem kind of comes from, you know? Like,
and then it is good for Zia in a little bit of trouble.
Ooh, good retreat. And nice.
Player will be the one to deal with the finishing blow.
Dude, the layering of the skills right there were solid.
This is what I mean by the movement, and now even more damage on MLBB. He should be able to get away from this, but it's going to be a little bit of gold plating over the side of Cloud9, and BTK always going to be a little bit slow to the party.
Speaking of slow to the party, Mark.
Oh, he's got a passive.
Almost fell right there. It does have Cool World to keep him alive, to be able to take down these minions, but was almost a costly play. I think they're going to go ahead. No, he's going to go ahead and recall back Shark, though. He doesn't look like he wants to let him go for free.
He's like, come on, recall,
that sets them up for turtle,
we'll see what happens. We'll roll the dice a little bit. Shark now finally getting into the face of best player, though. Hoon finally getting kind of into the groove of zoning them back, and this should be a turtle over to BTK, so holding themselves in the game.
Ooh, the rotation's a little slow by best player right there. Circling Eagle.
Oh!
You're going to see Sandstorm connect. Both sides fighting it out.
Damn!
Let's
go, boys!
Go C9.
Let's go! That's a double kill.
No way he hit that, bro.
Cooking.
Next.
No way.
Cooking.
Left to defend. We'll be able to clear
Welcome to the kitchen, chat.
Done shaft them up.
Shaft
They
them
get
up.
the turtle, they get themselves back in the game, and they push a little bit too far in that, maybe trying to be aggressive, trying to take a kill, and it bites them forward. Cloud9 now still with a nice lead. Nothing too crazy,
wrong combo.
but in control.
Yeah, I mean, they're inching their way up in these objectives, which is going to help them, especially as we close to that 10-minute mark.
I thought Zia was going to set that up.
BTK, they did a good job, though. They were able to out-rotate best player. Even though they lost the first turtle, they were able to make up for it with the second one. So that's still going to keep them in this game. Only down by about 1,000 gold so far.
Her in like every match.
Yeah, we need that. You know, we saw last time, we saw a nice Raging Sandstorm come in from Fried Chicken, but it still didn't feel like enough. Cold World does go down there, so MLBB finds the pickoff. He needs that kill, honestly, after taking the death to put himself a little bit more into this game.
He didn't have Purify.
Yeah, they definitely need that one right there. And Cold World, he was just caught out of position. He couldn't even move. The chain CC, too much to handle. Zia. Going up against Nats, actually, on the bot side. It looks like both sides rotated. You are looking at Chicken on the top side up against Basic with the Claude.
Yeah, Cloud9 make the swap, and I think Nats will have a decent time against the Ruby. Nats is going to have a good time overall on the CC, and it just fits well into what Cloud9 wants to bring, which is this very kiting type of composition.
Oh, they're all standing, so like unless I like raised up the camera, which I could. I mean, it's not a problem.
But we can just do
super easy to do.
Burst damage, get out as fast as possible.
You trying to be in the camp?
They do have the big Frigid Glacier from Marcuti, so there's still some crowd control there. But overall, Cloud9's composition is very straightforward. It is kind of, you know, we're dancing here, we're moving, and you got to be able to catch us if you want to kill us.
Yeah, BTK looking to do the tango right now for the third turtle of this game. Here comes Cloud9 circling Eagle in. There goes that lantern play. Best player able to take the turtle for Cloud9, but needs to get back to safety. Hit with the taunt. Hit with the I'm offended. Zia will secure the kill on him. One member down for Cloud9.
Oh, they didn't even take top tower? Oh, that's good.
Very well played from both sides there. The Frigid Glacier, first of all, was beautifully placed by Mark
Oh, we got bot, though.
MLBB tries to move out, but to get in range for the retry, he ends up getting getting frozen by it. Luckily, BTK does still get that kill onto best player, which is huge and kind of evening out that trade. And BTK still hanging out.
You said that hours ago. The chat kind of been. They just be watching.
They're still very much in this game.
Raging Sandstorm, the Desert Tornado. Forces out the circling Eagle.
Damn. Blazing Duet. Dude, if we had 2 tickets to Worlds, like, it would have been. Oh my god, the damage.
Connects. Right, Chicken forces
we are.
MLBB will take a turret on the bot side. Best player able to kill Chicken, finds Nats. 1 for both sides. Shark and Nats are down. They're going to try to ice Mark Cutie.
It's so close, I don't know. Everybody's micro and macros are crazy.
As he enhanced sight, may be able to use it to extend the distance, but Zia will make it back to safety. But look at Zane.
Yeah, once again, Zia's Ruby is just disgusting. And all that's happening in a 4v5 situation pretty much. When Hoon in trouble goes down to best player.
Let's go.
For Cloud9, the blows are finally starting to go back and forth, but this time BTK bringing the macro game.
Yeah, but BTK, I mean, they have to keep putting on this pressure, right? They need to keep this game under control because the late game damage is going to be a threat, especially with basic.
Turtles are leaning to our side.
So far, and he already has
Gold's
the
still about the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot. Basic, though, yeah, like you said, I mean, Basic's
First Lord's going to really make it or break it.
Sleeper agent on the team of Cloud9. You never know exactly when he's going to pop off, but at some point, it will come.
And this may be the time, Chicken, to use that Raging Sandstorm back to safety.
Go work it out of there.
And that will be that turret falling as Chicken is going to go ahead and recall back to the base. That is going to be both sides able to claim some real estate on this map as the Lord spawns in.
That boy Basic's a hoot and a holler, bro.
All right, so we see Fortune this time go to the long lane, trying to control it, trying to push it back. This will help him have a little bit of an advantage over the Lord. But Basic also playing the top side. Both teams making sure side lanes are controlled. Deadly Catch comes out. A lot of resources burnt up from both teams.
Yeah, you did see that Frostly Breeze come out over there by Mark Cutie. Doing a great job on this Aurora. Even though he's not stacked up in the kills, the crowd control aspect that he brings to these fights is huge for Cloud9. As you are seeing the Lord in play, both sides ready to do the dance in the Lord pit, but neither side...
Yeah, I remember when this team could not Lord dance.
So they'll disengage.
You know? I remember when this team couldn't Lord dance, chat.
On the spot lane. It is the slow build-up. I do think BTK's wave ends up winning out and getting the slow push up. And that is going to be important as this fight. If this fight really drags on the long haul, eventually Cloud9 has to send someone back. So I don't know if they want to try to rush this, if they want to slow play this, but it's definitely going to kind of be a battle of the macro here. BTK finally maybe making the advance.
Yeah, unfortunate though. Zane is the one who has to be the pusher with this Bane. Both sides fighting out. So Raging Sandstorm from Chicken to initiate. Frigid Glacier does connect Zia and MLBB caught by Mark Cutie, but still in position for the retry play. Avatar the Guardian dropping down for the airborne knock-up, and Zia with the follow-through. We'll find that Raging taking down MLBB. No retry for BTK. Best player will find Zia. 2-for-1 trade. Able to take down Shark as well.
Nice!
Let's fucking go. Clean up crew.
And also finds Fried Chicken.
Wow.
And a tier 3 turret for the mid lane. Possible tier 2 as well. Now making the way into an inhibitor.
Wow.
Let's fucking go.
7 seconds before Zia spawns in. The base is opened up.
You know what it means!
W's in the chat. W's in the chat.
Yeah, that was a close call, but they get so much profit off of that.
Surprised
and
they
finally the gold
by now.
scales into Cloud9's advantage here. It goes from being a 1 to 2K gold lead to about 6,000. Not to mention the inhibitor, not to mention the map control, plus a ward on top of that. In the end, Cloud9's dancing composition of this back and forth wins.
We turned from a cloud to a hurricane.
I like that.
Sandstorm, but it's just
they about to call us the Hurricane Boys.
Member after member, all for just Nats.
Yeah, Basic now going to be able to get that core trinity we were looking for, so he's going to be hitting very hard. There goes the Wind of Nature to top it off, especially against the heavy physical damage that BTK has. Now looking at this Lord marching through the
look
lane.
At the lane.
For a potential game ender. They only have
checking these boys up.
And the base crystal, but BTK
supporting C9 from India. Let's go.
All right, so they will be able to maybe shred this down.
Yeah, they're gonna hold it. They're gonna hold
make
it.
the strike.
Yeah.
BTK has to play careful. I don't think they
got
should try
super
to
minions
engage in
coming up,
anything.
so.
They need to hang out, let Cloud9 come to them, because if White
Basic
Chicken goes
though,
too
he's
deep,
win 0 and 7.
goes too deep, the damage that Cloud9 has right
best
now
player,
is enough to
7 and
change things
1.
up. But look at the play.
BT1 thick right now.
Oh, Circle Eagle
Unbelievable
Cobra
thick.
able to escape.
Wow, 1
with the
HP.
hair of HP. Use a lot of utility as well. Who will find best player?
Jesus.
NACT will take down Chicken, make that 2 for BTK.
Call him burnt chicken.
Call him burnt chicken.
3 members down for the bloodthirsty Kings.
boy.
Zane and Hoon left to pick up the
they left him in the fryer
before
too long.
rotation from Cloud9 through the mid lane. Trex, I think they're looking to close it out. I think they're looking for a finish. Circling Eagle on his Zane.
What a fucking winner trench, bro.
NACT will take him down. All is left is Hoon.
Rose, your sense is going off at all?
Not yet.
Inhibitor will
Not yet.
the
There's too many of them
side.
coming back.
I think they're going to go in, though. Hoon trying to clear this minion in time. Zia spawns in alongside Fried Chicken and Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point to...
No reason to rush.
All right, it's getting closer. Cloud9 still taking their time with it. Zia comes
Everybody
back up
knows
just a
everything
second, but
could
once
be
again,
slow.
man, Fried Chicken Shark make this in game.
The amount of mistakes they've learned, they should they got discipline.
There. He's clearing
They cooked
bodies,
so many
gotta go back to
steaks,
base
bro.
for health. He's not there, and there's just no
It's all
damage
about
to
the
follow up on
slow
these big
process
crowd
to get
control
that
plays
medium
BTK 's
rare.
trying to
Remember, chat, though,
make.
there's still one more
And
set
even though
after
they're
this,
under the
though.
tower, the big
Oh, shit.
glacier comes down, and
Oh, you still gotta
Cloud9
play
just seems to be
more.
getting the better of them in these fights.
BTK
Take a
does.
look at the
Yeah, but once
items.
it loses,
Zane does finally get in the Malefic Roar. I'm guessing last item
yeah,
might
yeah,
just
yeah.
end
We're
up
next
being
week.
OD.
Finish this
Maybe just
out
go
next
for the
week.
full damage. Make sure that
BTK
crab,
has to
crab
play
plant
again if they
cannon
lose.
can actually take some people out. On the
was
side
like,
of
damn, I
Basic,
thought
though,
they
he
were
just
definitely
finished out his last
like,
item.
ooh,
Malefic
they
Roar
Mark,
walked in. And here goes a big
Acid?
fight.
Acid, did they fight it though?
Pride of Ice, but Zane gonna gobble it up with the deadliest catch. Down goes Mark Cutie. This could work in BTK's
wait
favor,
this
though.
out.
They do have the numbers.
The lanes
but
are kinda
look at the
pressed.
wave
Waves.
management right now for Cloud9.
Yeah, the waves are going to be a problem. This is what Cloud9 did last time.
popped
Once you're
all
down
their
this
ult.
many towers, it is tough to fight for these lords. You got to kind of rush them. White Chicken holding down the bot lane, the long lane, just trying to relieve some pressure so that BTK can maybe make the move.
Yeah, trying to buy some time. Now forced to take
Looking
this
cool.
fight in the Lord
Yeah,
pit
you
with
used it on
Marcuti.
Cold World?
Not there. BTK does have the numbers, but it's not going to stop Cloud9 from
Need to
engaging.
know where-
Circling Eagle
where
from
Basics
Cobra
at.
back
Mars
to safety.
back.
Chicken immobilized. There goes the Lantern of their by Hoon. Trying to zone them out.
Oh!
I'm offended. Double set. Zia
shit.
finds Nath.
Oh,
Zane
shit.
finds the Lord. Basic
Oh,
DMI
shit.
with the
Hoon
placement
should be
away.
dead?
Finds Boba Zane.
No.
Maybe able to
Hoon-
get another
Hoon's
winner
out.
crowd. Proc on Cold World.
Damn,
Chicken.
That's
what the
huge.
We'll
fuck?
wait and take him down. Basic Marcuti left to go back, but the Lord has been secured by the bloodthirsty
That
Kings.
pick on Damar was huge.
I just want to say I've been waiting for a game like this. The past three, let's be honest, it's just been stomps. It's just been snoozers.
Oh,
but now
fuck.
we finally got a little bit of a back and forth. Cloud9 wins a fight. BTK wins a fight, and it is down the line right now. If BTK can clear some inhibitors here, it is a tie game all around.
Yeah, Basic best player is going to spawn in. Cold World as well, so it's going to be a full 5v5 as Zane is now going to join the party as
Have
well.
everything,
The base
bro.
now being opened for Cloud9. They had the chance to close this out, but BTK quickly finding the pieces
That
and putting them
Ruby, bro.
together, and
Love
now
Ruby, bro.
has an advantage to even out this
I hate
series.
Ruby.
Let's take a look at this replay, man. BTK did so well at zoning out.
Look at that
final
pool. Like, what is
big
the cooldown on her pool is like,
sandstorm
what,
paired up
fucking
with the
15
unoffended.
seconds?
Basic tries to do something. He tries to lock onto Hoon, but the Lantern flare is just too much. Hoon finally finding his groove here. I mean, he's literally, him and Fried Chicken are just zoning Cloud9 at bay, letting Mobazane have free reign over the Lord Pit. And now opposite inhibitors are broken down. Opposite side lanes are going to be having more powerful minions and closing in. BTK with the pressure.
Yeah, and right now, hey, I love to say it. Pressure does one or two things. It either bursts pipes or makes diamonds. And
We do like saying that. That's a good saying. That's a good word.
Burst pipes or makes diamonds, huh?
10 to
Oh, he got
15
that
on the
tattoo.
scoreboard.
Did he?
Now getting to that
I don't know.
16-minute mark. Everybody ready for the
Yeah,
late game
me.
battle. A full 5v5 engagement may be on the way. Cloud9,
MSL.
they don't even have wave management no more. It is an even playing field.
Definitely an even playing field. I do still think Cloud9 are going to be able to kind of dance still a bit more, but it is going to be tough for them now that we're getting to this. I mean, it's 52K to 52K. We're getting to end game items here. It is going to be tough for Cloud9 to really break through what BTK has. And as long as nobody gets caught off on BTK, if they can bring the full 5v5, they should have the advantage here. They have more crowd control. They have enough damage. They have sustainability to hang out in these Lord pits. Cloud9 has to really come at this in an angle. They also need to look for a pickoff, which is kind of going to be tough. Or Mark Cutie has to bring down the perfect Frigid Glacier. Other than that, it's just got to be a macro game because I don't think Cloud9's going to have a lot of trouble taking the big 5v5 here. And here goes one at the top.
Yeah, the 5v5 all the way. Chicken to initiate. Sandstorm pushing out basic. Use that Blaze duet.
Oh, nice, good kill on the Hoon.
May have been a mistake.
Basic, where you at?
Got out of position, taking a lot of damage. Needs to go back to safety.
Nice. Basic try to get a flank, but wasn't able to. Full applying a lot of pressure. Are they going to be able to get the kill on the Shark? Shark is still going. That's trying to get a play here.
Look at the Lord
free.
A chance for Cloud9 to claim this. They don't have Poon. They have the numbers.
Whole world still going onto the engage, keeping them at bay, chat.
BTK seems to be continuously taking
Lord now in our hands.
They shouldn't. They should have played for Lord.
Who's going to have the discipline here?
For control on the bot side, but try to make the big play happen and pay for it. Hoon is bursted down.
Come on, boys. Come on.
With the big burst potential, best player just gets in the winner crown. And this is going to make him be able to hang around even longer.
I know they have to get rid of this inhibitor too.
The immortality as well, so they're getting some insurance policies out before this storm hit. Sounds kind of familiar for us Floridians, as you are going to go ahead and see the Lord make its way down the mid lane. The push from Cloud9 to try and close out the series with the match prediction 3-1. BTK holding up that shield.
Want the tower?
With the dagger.
Getting peeled here. Dodge the Sharks.
Deadly catch goes out from MLBB. The Lord quickly bursted down and minions.
There's not a lot of peel happening on the BTK's team here right now. They're kind of thick.
Go
world. Good winter fringe. Get out of there, boy. Oh my god, passive proc.
Onto NACT. BTK still
Basic can't really get anything here.
Top side.
Disengage from the
good. Get out. Good. Get out. Got that inhibitor.
I skirmished the guy in hit.
They are hanging on for dear life right now, and they are doing it well. The Crab Claw Cannon is just chunking people down. The amount of just peel that BTK has, or stiff arm, whatever you want to call it, the ability to stop Cloud9 from jumping in completely, just holding them at bay, is there for BTK right now. And here we go. Here you see it. Items almost completely maxed out. MLBB did go for the Blade of Despair as his final item. On the side of BTK, we also have Shark finally kind of finishing things out. He's got the Blade armor locked in as well, which is a big deterrent for Basic. On the side of White Chicken, he just locked in the Winter Crown. He's got the Blade of Hepides. He's going to be putting out a little bit more damage to kind of hybrid this out. Went almost fully defensive, but kind of drops the cherry there with a little bit of damage at the end. And that could be the thing that really helps.
Yeah, but look at the lane, the heavy lane push. They all went to the top lane.
Well, man. The Lantern Flare has just been so helpful in these sieges and defending against Cloud9. Just like what Cloud9 did to BTK last time, where you weren't able to jump in because of it, BTK is doing the same thing.
Well, it is now or never for BTK, their most important game of this entire NACT fall season. They need this victory to be able to even out this series up against Cloud9. Cloud9,
I want to know what they're saying into the camera.
Seat as a grand finalist. You can definitely tell a lot is on the line, and the anticipation is climbing. Everybody going wild, but this can only end one way, with one team being victorious. But the question is, who will that be?
Basic hanging out down on the boss side. He's got to control this wave. They have to control this bottom wave because it is going to be one that seems to be
tell him to wait 30 seconds.
On Cloud9. But honestly, if Cloud9 can control it, they can go for some cheeky plays.
Who knows yet? I don't know what they're doing in there.
On the signature backdoor hero in his pocket, you pair that up with the Matilda, who can get him back to safety at any moment. It is definitely scary. BTK knows.
Joe used to play MLBB.
This is our longest game yet.
I don't play like
battle for the Lord on the way, already down to 50% HP. Basic. Honestly,
let's go!
Who the fuck are those guys?
Let's go, bro. Let's go.
So Basic will not
Bro, I did the same thing as Zane.
Opportunity though for the Bloodthirsty King.
Then ako natin dito, Chris.
Lord.
Yung ginawa dito.
Goes the vengeance.
Ay, di pinakita, bobo.
Forced to use a winter crown. Best player trying to do damage.
Auditions na naman. Auditions na naman, buddy.
Avatar the Guardian dropping down. Best player able to take the Lord from Cloud9. Mark Cutie fighting
Shark,
2 members down for the Bloodthirsty King.
That's that boy in there. He said low HP, no problem.
Binalikan ko, Chris.
Another winter crown.
Ano, bobo.
Basic will find Best player will take down Zia Chicken. Let the load. 4 members to Cloud9. There goes another winter crown. He
said, hold on, let me go back.
Dude, hella funny.
Bro, watch this shit, bro.
Able.
He got the flag. Pulled the flag out.
One blow and a streak to the grand final.
Hey, let me see if they caught it.
On the opposite side, you see the
You do that?
Cloud9 3-1 fashion. I mean, and when it comes down to the wire, what do they do best? They control that long lane, and they're able to come back, get him in the pincer formation with Basic and Cold World on the backside, and the rest of the team and the rest of BTK stuck in the middle of this. They have to send Zia back. And once Zia goes back, they know what time it is. Cloud9 knows exactly what they have to do. They know, okay, it's a 5v4 now. We win out on this, and they just did it perfectly.
The 9 clouds out here clapping.
The 9 clouds out here clapping. You're the cloud, boy. Drop in the chat.
You're the cloud.
You're the cloud.
In the chat.
3-1 for Cloud9.
I don't know who MVP is yet.
From BTK.
Are you lying?
You're the cloud.
In that game.
I am live,
Either way, BTK had a chance to be able to even out that series, even with.
Wait, all you had to do is stay alive.
I know.
I mean, I threw once.
Yeah, dude.
Nonetheless, it was a great match.
They had no chance the moment you laid down those spells, bro.
Really aggressive.
This is like damage dealt. So damage dealt to go down.
This push from Basic. Get the edge over the
I think they fucked up
to win over the series.
That's a live?
Yeah, this is live.
You know what I love about these?
I feel like BTK just a couple.
What the fuck? They're swapped, yeah.
A little over the aggressive. And then also
what the hell? Oh yeah, Zia wasn't on the time.
I wonder how many times
it's Aurora, right?
The pressure's on them. They're able to win out. Let's take a look at some of these replays. BTK able to hang on in the early game. Able to get this to where they wanted.
Who did?
We're in the second. What's that? Second turtle right now, and they get the big kill on the best player.
I can sit here with you, brother, if you need to.
But both teams just continuously finding pickoffs of other members. Continuously kind of
well, we'll be here. We're switching spots, buddy.
One time Basic goes down. One time Mobazane goes down. One time Best Player goes down. It's just trade for trade throughout the middle of this game, back and forth.
Well, no, I don't think they sent me the link.
Like whoever has the Julian is gonna win. That's really what it's kind of boiling down to. Man, just a lot of spicy engagements from both sides. Keeping us at the edge of our seats, man. I think at one moment I almost lost my voice, man. I was out of breath at that base crystal, man. I was like, come on, y'all gotta give me some breathing room. But BTK, man, it was a hard battle and a little bittersweet for them to not be able to find that victory. The bracket so far with Cloud9's victory 3-1 against BTK, they've officially earned that first seat into the grand finals in a best of 7. But we still got losers or lower bracket round 1 and 2. Got to see Godspeed and Ghost Unite Horde fight it out to figure out who's going to be facing BTK in that best of 3. Should be a best of 3 to be able to fight it out in the grand finals.
Another match that I'm really excited to see. It will be a best of 5 in that second lower bracket game. One of these teams is going to get to go against BTK. That's why I did that. I'm really excited to see who it's going to be.
You want to hear?
I do feel like Gosu and Godspeed bring a lot of the same type of energy to the field. Both are good teams, both are developing teams. And I think that it really could go either way. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with that, and I'm excited to see who's going to go hands-on with BTK.
I think the next 2 series, no matter how they go, we're definitely in for a show. Godspeed Hungary for the rematch against BTK. I'm sure Boz just watching, you know, just snacking, watching, waiting. To whereas Nighthorde, Gosu, just try. I feel like Gosu, Nighthorde is a team that's really just trying to show that they are at least a top 3 team. At least show that they are a competitor here.
All right,
competitors, Zeke. Go ahead.
I think I got one of these competitors waiting for me, so I'm gonna kick you guys out of here and bring in one of the most handsome guys in Cloud9, Mark Cutie. G, get out of here. This isn't
Hey, calm down.
All right, Mark Cutie, man, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling delighted. I had my votes on you guys, and you guys had me a little bit on the seat that second match, but you guys came in strong. You guys controlled, and I'm very proud of you guys. Very proud of you guys.
Thank you.
So some people wanted to know. I feel like this is a relatively simple question, but how did you practice not dying so much?
I mean, you just gotta look at the map sometimes, you know. So like, map awareness.
Is there anything that you want to say to BTK after having got, not only having to beat them in the second time in a row in this NACT, but knocking them into the lower bracket? What do you want to say?
I mean, I know comment because they're like the super team of NA, you know. They're my idols.
Apparently not. Cloud9 in the house. So next up, we're gonna have Gosu Nighthorde going up against Godspeed. One of them are gonna get to go against BTK. How do you feel like either of them are gonna fare against BTK after having just faced them?
I would say like Godspeed has more chance based on what they did the last series. I feel like they got more chance going up against BTK. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think opinions might vary there, but I hear you. I'm not going to hold you guys up too much. I know that you're in the process of celebrating now. I see Jiraiko in the background.
Yeah.
He's grinning from ear to ear. I'm not going to stop you guys from doing that. You know? Again, I'm proud of you guys. You guys played so well. Don't party it up too much.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah. Still got to stay focused, you know. We got one more series. Thank you.
I love them so much. They're so fun.
I know comment because they're like the super team of NA, you know. They're my idols.
Apparently not. Cloud9 in the house. So
you know what it be, G?
You know what it be?
You know what it be, G?
You know what it be?
One of them are going to get to go against BTK. How do you feel like either of them are going to fare against BTK after having just faced
I would say like Godspeed has more chance.
We don't got one more set. We done. That's it.
The last series.
No, there is one.
Got more chance.
I mean, grand finals. Yeah, we're done till grand finals, baby.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think opinions might vary
there.
But I hear you. I'm not going to hold you guys up too much. I know that you're in the process of celebrating now. I see Jiraiko in the background.
3-1
from ear to ear. I'm not going to stop you guys from doing that. Again, I'm proud of you guys. You guys played so well. Don't party it up too much. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Still got to stay focused.
Did they like post the bracket?
They showed it like.
Yeah, nice. I gotta update Cloud9. Give me a second, chat. You didn't know you could do that?
No.
Crazy shit you can do with a PC.
Spoken individuals.
There's like there's something called snipping tool, and it essentially you can take a screenshot of any size of anything you want on your PC.
It's like the quote-unquote CEO, the guy who's just always standing there. He needs some sweet sunglasses. If you're listening right now, G, get a chain, put your sweet sunglasses on. I need you in full mobster mode. But I think what's really cool is because, you know, us as casters, you know, a lot of us have connection to a lot of players on both of these teams, but right now, Cloud9 having G, having Mar, having Cold World, having a lot of these guys who we have seen kind of grow, who weren't always the stars of NA.
It depends. It depends.
In the limelight, it's like at this point, it feels like no matter who ends up winning, it is a win.
It depends on how long the next set's going to be.
Excited to watch either of these teams come out on top. It is truly, I feel like, just a great time for NA to just be a fan of NA.
Speaking of fans,
speaking of stars,
MVP for Cloud9 is going to be able to dominate yet again. Looked a little shaky in a couple of the matches, but able to make up for it in the end. Definitely well deserved. Nats, he's been a secret weapon, right? And he's all the way out from RSG, Philippines, and the question was he what Cloud9 needed? And I mean, he's been able to perform exactly where they needed him to, especially with this.
They said the BTK, the BTK fans are toxic.
Right on
BTK fans are losers.
So definitely well deserved MVP for Mr. Nass himself. The prediction has yet to fell him with a 3-1.
Bro is the pick me girl.
Played a great game.
Did nothing but wants attention.
I think as long as he stays away from glue,
Mar wanted me in the can with him, bro.
Jokes aside,
dude, when I tell you that, like, I put a lot of time in with the team, man, like, and I feel like one of the biggest things is that, like, I bring a lot of energy when it comes to like matches and stuff like that, you know. So it's like when we do these types of things, right? Like, it's not like me switching up from Zane. It's not, you know, like at this point I'm just Cloud9. You know, I'm like a professional manager of an esports team, so
how he's going to be
players come and go, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm riding one player versus the other. It's just it's my job, right? Like, and I love the boys in there, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm going to do the best I can do as a manager to make sure that they are hyped as hell and ready to play into this next game, you know what I mean? So it's a matter of, like, I you know, like, at this point, I feel like me and this team, like, I've been with these guys for like a long time, casting next to them, you know, being in BTK, being in Cloud9. Like, I don't think there's like an overall like title or you know, like a team that is like I'm favoriting over the other. I legitly work for Cloud9. You know what I mean? So I put my time and effort to make sure that these boys, no matter who they are on their A game. Their turn. I'm turn. We're coming into these games hot. Like, that's why I brought them to my house, bro. Like, I mean, it was a little harder to secure a budget this time around, especially for this NACT, because this is Worlds versus the last NACT was EWC. And we had a lot more funding when it came to the last EWC. Cloud9 did pay for the flights here, though, so but everything else is kind of like on us as a player, you know, like, so their salaries that they're making is like they're paying for food. Where anytime we go out to have, like, you know, bonding or synergy time, like, we're paying for it, you know. I think on game day they're gonna, you know, get a little bit, but I mean, we knew this coming into this. This is why, like, I was just luckily in the place to be able to bring them out to a house that could sustain a full team. And, you know, like, I feel like that's what makes a good manager, is someone that's being in the position to be able to handle a team. And I'm there, you know? Like, if, like, there's just all different types of managers, you know? It is what it is. All I know is my team's ready. We're hyped. We've been living in this house. It's been fun. Compared to, like, if I, like, just, like, compared to being in BTK, like, we had a lot of drama in the back end side of things, to be honest, you know what I mean? But this team, dude, like, everybody's, like, chill, bro. Like, I don't think there's a time that we've had drama. If we ever have a problem, we sit down and talk as a team. You know what I mean?
More like a family.
Exactly. Like, we've grown. It might have took a year for us to, like, get together and, like, understand things, but this is how, like, pro teams can actually grow and actually win worlds. Like, you have to do this type of stuff. Which is why when you see, like, like now BTK's boot camping. Cool, right? Like go for it.
They did a second though.
Yeah, they did a second though. Like I came up with like I had to like go to Cloud9 and be like, hey, this is what I want for the team, right? Like the players are all focused on getting better and getting better in game, you know, learning from the coaches, learning from NACT because he brings a lot to the playing field. But like my job is to make sure that they're in a position to perform as best as they possibly can, and I did it, you know. Everybody wants in the C9 the crowd, man. But it's good, man. I mean, I'm glad the boys are hyped. That's the whole point of being a team. If you're not hyped after winning, like especially when all of the fans are against you, and then not only that, you had the caster switch up, right? You know what I mean? So like the casters are now, some of them are now swapping to our side, and stuff like that. You know, I mean, hey. We're all a machine, man. Like, unless we're all working perfectly, like no one's gonna work perfectly. So my boys are hyped, they're ready. I know they're happy that the weekend's done. Carlos, that boy, man, best player 1, man. Oof. That boy last night, he came into, because I left my door open because I was letting the dog roam around, and he came in my room. He's like, Aiko, man, Aiko, you gotta. It's like we got a little bit of a cold, so we got some like coughs around the house. He was like, you got any cough drops, man? I can't sleep. He's like, it's like Christmas morning, man. I'm ready for tomorrow. I was like, hell yeah, brother. It's been fun. I mean, haters are always gonna hate, bro. Haters always gonna hate, bro. It is what I've learned to live with it, you know. I've learned to live with it. All I can say is I'm putting my team in the best position that they possibly can be in, you know. If like financially, if we have to take some L's here and there, you know, like that's what we do as a team, you know. Like that's why we have prize pool, you know. Yeah, we gotta go get steaks now. Hey, W managers in the chat. Yeah, he did. He was like, Aiko, bro, my throat's kind of hurting. I was like, it's all good, bro. There's some off drops right there, brother. Yeah, you want to get some food? Let me see if this starts. I mean, if we can always like DoorDash or fucking. Don't say that live. Don't say that live. Nah. Really? Yeah. Nah. Special hydration, brother.
Really?
Yeah. TOS.
What's that mean?
Terms of condition.
Oh, okay.
Terms of service, actually, but same difference.
But, is it because you're chatting out on a mature audience?
No, it's just a thing. It's also for like sponsorship.
Okay, I was like, there we go. I'm like,
yeah. You know. I kind of want to see if this next match starts. So I'm super confused why it says there's only 2. Maybe they're not showing the 3rd match. 'Cause I'm pretty sure there's 3 matches today, unless they switched it up once again, bro. I'm gonna be so mad if they did. Yeah, there's 3 matches today. Someone said on the Zane 3 hero pool is true. But I wanted to live stream on game days for you guys, chat, just so you guys can get like a little bit like I've been kind of AFK, you know, but that's I got a lot to do. There's fucking 6 guys in there. Yeah, Monster. I mean, Basics got his. Carlo or Best Players got his. I mean, my streaming set, I only have 2 streaming setups available, so like only 2 can only stream at the same time unless they want to do like something else. He plays Bane now. Yeah, I can't really tell you what we've learned. Because Because I gotta be quiet about some, you know, some intel. Just know that we learned some stuff. We learned some stuff. We learned some stuff. Nah, just from like the games. Yeah, just from the game. Like we learned something critical. Yeah, we learned something critical.
Tell me afterwards.
Yeah. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Congrats on the W. Thank you, Zo. Or Z-O. I don't know how you like to be called. It's crazy though. It was fun though. It was fun, man. I ain't gonna lie, that last match kind of had me a little bit on the edge of the seat, man. A little edge on the seat. It was fun. It was fun though. The best thing. Oh, I gotta. The final countdown. I gotta see if I can You know where it be.
Wait, I saw the stare down, bro. I was like, I fucks with it. That's why you didn't grab it.
Yeah, like Carl Emily.
Look at me! Y'all get killed, bro. I got 0 fucking deaths that game, though.
Hell yeah. You were popping off.
Those niggas cannot touch me, bro.
Oh, watch out, bro. You on stream. Cool with it. I can't say for stream. Hey, I believe it.
Hey, they only do it. What's that?
Live G?
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? You just saw a fantastic matchup, but we're getting ready to see another one. As we step into the
someone said that on where?
NACT, we're gonna see.
Am I streaming after the games are done?
Godspeed. Both teams
I don't know if I'll be eligible after
they did
that.
pretty well in the
Let's see.
in the actual NACT regular season. But
some BTK fan, bro.
If they don't, again, we said it earlier.
But hit the roof's a good thing, though.
Will it be both of them?
Hit the roof would be
just be one of them? Time will tell.
I mean, as Zeke said, he did
Look, he's
in the regular season.
Oh, God.
I think Godspeed has been on the uprise overall. They went from being team to a team that almost took down BTK. So Godspeed definitely showing up a lot, and Nighthorde on the other hand, maybe not performing to what we thought Gosu Nighthorde might perform to. And if there's a chance for Godspeed to get an upset and secure, you know, number 3, number 2, number 1, they have to prove it here. Nighthorde, on the other hand, just needs to show that they are still a dominant team in NACT, and there's a reason why they've been around for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be one of their biggest challenges yet, right? I mean, we got to see them take down teams like Overskilled, Accelerate.
It is what it is, baby.
Putting that top 4 caliber. So this is going to be a very hard fight they've had yet. And also,
let's watch a movie later, dog.
Hey, I'm definitely down, man.
That boy Joe's like a movie enthusiast, bro.
You just love the movie?
Oh, yeah, dude. Anytime?
The third one? Oh, you talking about like actually go to movies? Yeah, I'm definitely down.
You want to go to the movies?
Yeah.
Okay, damn, okay.
They just released it.
Yeah, I saw it actually. They put it on like, I got an illegal website. Yeah.
I was like, don't say that live, man.
I
don't. Joe the bodyguard.
They're not the bodyguard.
Not wanting us to dive right into who we actually
we make it the world's number 1.
We have seen
the wheels are down.
Again, we're in the lower brackets now. Everything is on the
Watch
line.
a scary movie.
These teams actually need to accomplish if they want to be successful.
I know.
I think Godspeed needs to play their game, right? I think they finally kind of found some real identity in the way that they.
I think we're gonna call it. We wanted to watch the game, let you guys enjoy a little bit of behind the scene, but I'm gonna go chill with the crew,
they seem to
relax with them. I know. I'm into the stream. I mean, they almost seem to.
BP1
wants to say hi.
Honestly,
damn.
They came in.
We'll catch you guys later.
And now it feels like they're making roster changes. They don't know exactly how they want to play, and it's way too late in the game to be at that place. So I think
maybe we'll get a full watch party next time. I guess there'll only be one game next time.
4-0 NACT Grand Finals.
Oh, hot take!
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. They've been
much love, bro. Much love. Everybody, all the fans of C9, make sure to keep giving that love in the chat. Cloud9 loves seeing you guys in the chat. You'll also see Cloud9 in the official chat, so make sure to show your love, show your support, and always stay cloudy.